Welcome to the next show that Squirm shall be covering for Summer Games Fest, aka Totally Not E3 2023, the Xbox Game Showcase mixed in with the Starfield Direct.
Xbox Game Studios presents.
So, to give Xbox credit, the last Inside Xbox show was actually pretty good. For those who don't remember, that's the one that debuted Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess this is probably
What the heck?
table.
Is that the guy? Is that the guy from
that's the
IT
one.
Crowd?
What do I think about Hero?
Yeah, Richard Ayoade.
We've all seen them, haven't we?
Oh yeah, it looks like it
Falling
might be
about the
Fable, yeah.
place with their
Yeah, I didn't talk
disproportionate
much about the
cheekbones
first teaser of this new
comically
Fable
massive
reboot. I'm
weapons.
not super optimistic on the more emphasis on comedy that they're going for. The demonstration for the gameplay that I'm seeing right now doesn't seem to be too different from the original, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just not particularly enthusiastic by the humor that they're using.
Okay, question, Microsoft. Did you actually get Richard for this game, or are you just having him show up in this one trailer motion captured?
Very rarely, you know, so that people hire, companies hire people just for a trailer. It's like asking if Ken Reeves was not actually present in Cyberpunk 2077.
Let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation.
So yes, one of the most worst-kept secrets, Fable, finally is
Fable.
officially revealed.
One moment.
Yeah, the Fable reboot has been was leaked even before, like a good amount of time before it even got properly shown. I don't know.
Whoa.
Oh, he's a giant.
Welcome to the borrowers.
Okay.
Don't you mean Jack and the Beanstalk?
Okay,
Well,
so
Second Beanstalk is not a British fairy tale.
Okay, so you fight Richard from IT Crowd as a boss fight.
I guess.
Oh, Fable.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. There's a. Oh, okay.
Oh god, she killed him.
I guess
was
she
a
did.
good sandwich wasted.
You killed Richard Ayoade?
Wait, that's it?
He's one of Britain's national treasures.
I mean, I was kind of expecting a proper demonstration of the gameplay.
They
like-
did it during the narration, Pedro. If you know anything about the previous games of Fable, it's basically the same. From what
I
they
guess,
showed.
but I personally would have liked to see an actual proper demonstration of like how the usual gameplay like is. It was mostly just cutscene stuff.
Well, we did see
Birdie.
some gameplay stuff like Tio pointed out, but yeah, I do agree we could have gotten a more extended one. And
Trim
hello,
those nails.
that is some interesting
So
art
this is
style.
by Compulsion Games, the guys who made We Happy Few.
Yeah, this animation looks like it wouldn't be out of place in a Leica film.
Oh, yeah. It looks like they're trying to emulate stop motion film. Sure.
Seriously, also moisturize your skin a bit more, sir.
You think he'd be moisturized given he appears to be out in the swamp. Huh?
Yeah, when I thought this was a video game adaptation of Skullduggery Pleasant because from certain angles he looked like a skeleton.
I get the idea we're going for the whole voodoo meme, well, I'm not sure if it's bad on somebody or not.
Been a while.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Bones.
Are we down in New
Favor
Orleans?
you owe me?
Seems like we are. Yes.
I'm looking for a creature. Huge, sneaky, teeth like knives.
Ooh, he is part skull.
So this is what became of.
He has a
Facilia.
Rolex,
So this is what
okay.
became of Dr. Facilia, since the events of Princess and the Frog, I
How about
guess.
you guys?
I guess.
I mean, he's still talking to
He
people at
got
least.
taught by Kirby the Frog how to play the banjo, I guess.
Not helpful.
It really is sneaky, I guess.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
South of Midnight.
Okay. I don't
it's
really
6
know
a.m.
exactly
then.
what this game. I don't really know what this game is, but okay.
It looks nice, I'll give it
I mean,
that.
it looks.
But yeah,
I mean, it looks
I-
nice, but I don't have any idea what kind of game it is.
I will say that, yeah, cutscene only footage does kind of get on my nerves sometimes.
World premiere.
World premiere.
World premiere.
These are
Massive
dangerous
entertainment.
times.
Another
Hey,
Ubisoft
Ubisoft
showing.
Studio.
Ubisoft, you maybe want to wait until
Star
your own
Wars.
show? Wait. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Oh, is this
Star-
the-
I
this
didn't
is
know
probably a
Ubisoft was making
preview.
Star- I didn't know
Actually,
Ubisoft
yeah,
was
they
making
did
Star
announce
Wars
it a
game.
while back. Let me see.
Okay.
But we didn't know what kind of, we don't know what kind of game it is, but I do remember mentioning that they had, let me see.
I guess ever since EA no longer hold the exclusive license, it's been open season.
Wait, this is the same studio that is doing apparently the Avatar new game, Frontiers of Pandora. We're in both these. Yeah, they announced it 2 years ago. So apparently we're doing both this and the Avatar game at the same time.
Are you sure that one's massive or just another Ubisoft group?
Massive Entertainment, which is working for Ubisoft.
Huh. Could this be why
it said
the
earlier.
Avatar game got delayed, apparently?
Well, it said
guess.
earlier at Massive Entertainment, Ubisoft Studios.
This was first announced in 2 years ago in 2021.
I don't think we've heard from this game since.
No, it was just a simple announcement like, this studio is making this game, but we knew nothing more after this.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Open world in the world of Star Wars.
Well, let's see.
You can even use the space motorcycle and the space guns.
Actually, Jova, that's a speed bike.
Well, you know what I mean, the generic term in that regard. Wait, and yeah, that is... never mind.
I'm here to offer you a way
Wait.
out, okay?
Get off my
Yeah,
Let's-
I'm
let's
here to offer
not
you
get
the game a
so
way
low.
out.
You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky.
Well, I'm guessing your protagonist is kind of on the
You'll
same
never
level, like
look
smugglers.
over your shoulder again.
Okay,
Okay.
cool, cutscene footage. Gameplay, please?
So, yeah, I mean,
The underworld shows no
I didn't care for the PlayStation Showcase showing only CG teasers for some of their first-party reveal, and I'm definitely not gonna like stuff for that one to do here.
Okay. Maybe they'll show gameplay eventually, hopefully. Star Wars
Wars
Outlaws.
Okay.
That
basically,
is
this
certainly
is,
a title.
Star Wars
And-
GTA.
Okay. Another one with no gameplay.
Oh wait, gameplay
Hey, I get
walkthrough
to see it
reveal
tomorrow.
at Ubisoft
Okay,
Forward.
then.
Okay.
Okay, fair.
got a promise.
Okay, sure,
Wow.
sure, fair.
Fable, South of Midnight, Star
Sarah
Wars
Bond.
Outlaws. Welcome to our first ever
Have we seen this girl before at
Showcase.
Have we?
I don't know.
Deep
I
dive
don't know.
into one of the most important RPGs ever made.
I think we have. I think she has been in some of the previous
Gaming
showcases,
is the
but
most powerful of all
I
entertainment.
don't actually
It
pay attention to
transports,
that.
it challenges,
So
it connects us. And it's
Those are
just
certainly some
incredibly and
heels.
awesomely fun. That
Well,
is why
of
Team
course,
Xbox
she's
is
dressed in
committed to building the
green.
greatest place
Green.
to play. By partnering with the most ambitious of game creators and by unleashing the power of the gaming community, enabling all of us to play the games we want with our friends anywhere, from mobile devices to PCs to consoles. The lineup we have for you today is just incredible.
Please excuse me while I read off the
These
cue
are the
cards.
works of the very greatest creative
Thank you,
teams
card the
around the world.
other way.
Yeah,
Well-
this host is kind of bad.
Like seriously, the way
Well,
she's
I
looking
guess-
directly at the screen just implies cue cards. There you go.
Like,
That's
I've
good.
seen more attention from Christopher Walken.
Your passion drives
Oh my
us.
God, Christopher Walken hosting a games conference.
like,
From me and all of the team at Xbox.
Oh
Thank
Well, I
you.
mean, why not? It's probably the one thing he hasn't
This
done
next
yet.
game is from Thunder Lotus,
All right,
the
Debs,
award-winning studio behind Spirit
Oh, okay,
Fair.
this is different Spirit
We've gone
Fair, sure.
back to their combat
And also,
roots
if I recall
with an
correctly, they're the guys who
amazing
did
co-op
Yotun.
race action game that is
I know
usually
It's time for you.
theirs.
All right, there's time for you to find out what you'll be
All right,
playing on
everybody.
Game Pass for the next
It's
few
time.
months.
They specialize in making
Okie
games
doke.
that are 2D hand-drawn. You can definitely
World
see that.
premiere.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
these
Ah, okay.
definitely-
I do like, I do like that it's
They-
HD 2D sprites like
all of
Spirit Fair,
their
yeah.
games do this better.
I remember Spiritfarer was pretty good, so I've got a
I
good
can
feeling
tell you
about it.
that also the first game with the Yotun is also
It's
good.
it's one thing that I always say about when it comes to making a game in 2D in today's day and age. If you're going to make a game in 2D, use an art style like this, it actually takes full advantage of the fact that it's a 2D game, because this is an art style that you can't do in a 3D game, and so this is a way for the developers to do something that that is amazing that 3D games cannot do.
Pick up and raid.
Shadow Legends.
You know, I surprisingly have not heard from Shadow Legends lately.
Why should they?
Wait, is that mobile game that YouTubers keep?
Being sponsored by
Raid Shadow Legends. There's actually a guy, like, if you guys want to have some fun, check out a guy who actually made an actual review of the game, saying, "So what exactly is Raid Shadow Legends?" And turns out it's a shitty game.
Yeah.
But interesting how, like, all of these YouTubers. But see, I actually played this one, and I'm totally not reading this from a script that was sent to me by the publisher or something.
You see, Pedro, Raid Shadow Legends is amazingly massive with how much influence they have and how much cheddar they can give to content
Free
creators.
Immortals.
Well,
at least this
it
one
looks
showed gameplay.
interesting, I guess.
This is the first. At least this one showed game, like a proper good showcase of the game.
Play day one with Game Pass.
Well, makes sense. I mean, most of these indie games, Xbox makes a good
Oh,
deal.
Payday.
Simple job.
Payday, yeah. I recognize the mask.
Just in and out. Nothing
Alright.
to it.
So,
Nothing to it.
I take it you're a fellow Payday fan, too?
I haven't really played myself, but I did follow what the community did over the years with the second game. If I recall correctly, the publisher is not the best around. They had some skewy stuff with the Walking Dead game that they were handling, if I recall correctly, and we must have did a video about it. But the Payday franchise in itself is actually well beloved. Basically, heist simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a game adaptation of the opening 10 minutes of The Dark Knight.
Kind of follows the same thought process as smash and grab style in banks.
It makes sense, seeing as how one of the most iconic masks is, of course, the clown mask. Yep, that sure looks like a new and improved Payday game. Which again,
So
you know what?
it's an FPS where you rob banks, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, and mind you, it's not even a case of the enemy team, plays the police. You play exclusively as the robbers, and you need to cooperate, with the AI threat.
Sure.
I forget if they're Payday
I'm not that
3.
familiar with Payday.
Well, neither am I, that's why I was asking.
September 21st.
Sure,
Okay,
looks fine,
looks
I guess.
good. I mean, it's a Payday game.
Transition
and
sound.
Not my thing, but looks good for what it is, I guess.
It's more popular on PC than on consoles.
A lot of FPSs tend to be these days.
Well, because
Ladies and gentlemen, the world premiere.
the world's worst
Okay.
kept secret.
Okay.
Persona
So,
4 remake.
okay, believe it or not, folks, at the
Sorry,
time of
Persona
this,
3,
at the
sorry.
time of this live recording, yesterday, this got leaked, and Microsoft were apparently livid because Microsoft, being Microsoft, apparently paid to have this again, be debuted at their show.
It
But-
looks like it's using the Persona 5 engine.
But someone at Atlas apparently leaked it, and it got so bad, and Atlas are so scared that they immediately found the leaker and fired them on the spot. Like, damn.
It's basically breach of contract at that point, Jova, so yeah.
Alright, so Atlas, are you actually going to make this like the full definitive version of the game with all the previous content in it? Hopefully.
And more important,
please?
I wish 1 and 2 had the same love.
And what about the female main character?
Oh,
She
good
hasn't
calls. I
done a
can't be
thing
a
in a
Persona
while.
her announcement without T.O. boarding Persona 1 and 2.
Sorry, Jova, they literally played on themselves. Sorry, Dweebs.
Is this...
Anyway, Pirates of Pirates.
Wait a minute. Is
think
this another
Pirates of
Sea of
Pizza.
Thieves? No, it can't
No,
be.
this
Never
time
mind. Way
this
too
time working
ancient.
to the one of Assassin's Creed, the buddy.
Oh, Obsidian!
Obsidian.
Obsidian. Oh, it's Avowed, I'm guessing.
Okay, Obsidian have been on a good track record, so this looks promising.
Living lands. By an emperor who couldn't bother to come himself.
Some emperor.
Oh, shoot! You have guns in this fantasy land. That's neat.
Although they're more classic flintlock.
They look more like a
There.
steampunk type of affair.
Oh, that bear has fungus growing on it.
You want us to trust you,
Hey, Shalb.
but the truth is,
They don't.
you scare us.
Well, yeah.
So okay. So at the very least, they're showing they're doing demonstrating one of their major first-party upcoming games. Now let's see if we can see Everwild in here.
Secrets you keep. You're either here to save us, or destroy us.
Forge.
Your.
Penis.
Well, I was gonna say.
That's an
I was gonna say
interesting way
dick,
to call
but
Destiny. So you're saying
Where's your
Destiny
Destiny?
is your dick?
Do with it.
ow.
This looks like it would be good.
Avowed.
This looks like it would be good, but I'm not into first-person RPGs, so I'll skip this
feel like
one.
we've
But
heard
it's
So I guess
fine.
after- So I guess after being dishonored, you are now avowed.
Yeah.
Upgrade at least.
Go to the corner.
Xbox Game Studios presents. Oh, a first party title?
Another one. Okay, let's see.
Oh, rare!
Rare.
From Rare and
Lucasfilm?
Lucasfilm
Wait,
Games.
Lucasfilm? Wait, they're going.
Oh, CFEs! I have to.
Oh, okay.
Deep in the Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
So crossover with Indiana Jones, maybe? I don't know.
No, well, I actually it's Monkey Island because that's one of Lucasfilm video game proper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
I
is.
recognize
Yeah.
the music.
Monkey.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Sea of Thieves, The Legend of Monkey Island.
So, Pirates of the Caribbean is apparently in the same universe as Monkey Island now.
Sure.
That is so cool. You know, I will give Sea of Thieves this. It had a very rough start, but that game really has had a good turnaround.
Listen to Stan.
Heh.
Yeah.
Jesus. Hey, Guybrush! Okay, basically, Dwibs, Stan is pretty much every shifty salesman rolled into one.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, Guybrush, what happened to you?
Apparently,
this
he
is-
became a celebrity.
What
I'm
happened
guessing they're
to
going.
you?
I'm guessing they're going for he's a has-been and he's past his prime type of thing too.
Could also where they got back the original voice actor still.
Well, yeah, he's been voicing the character. Like I'm pretty sure he's never been replaced, has he?
No, if I recall correctly, only that Chuck has been replaced because his original. Oh, there he is. Because his original voice actor literally retired, so he's replaced by Jess Harnell.
I wonder if they're gonna have this take place after the new Monkey Island game.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be a
Oh, even the
crossover.
voodoo lady. Cool.
So basically,
So see,
it's a Monkey Island DLC campaign of sorts.
so basically, it seems like Sea of Thieves
For
is
free.
going.
Cool.
All right.
It seems like Sea of Thieves is essentially becoming the proper place for pirate media to cross over
All right.
into.
So Rare, do you have Everwild to show us as well?
Well, this is. Oh, okay, first part.
Let's see.
Xbox Game Studios, yes.
Okay.
Azobo,
Oh, a Zobo.
Zobo
Flight
Studio.
Simulator, I'm guessing.
the
probably.
next generation of Microsoft
there you
Flight
go.
Simulator.
So it's like a DLC for it or
Pursue
something?
your dream of a career in aviation.
Oh, so what? They're adding,
Aerial firefighting.
they're like adding a campaign mode to it or something? I don't.
That or this could be search and
Search
rescue.
and rescue.
Oh, is it like a fire smoker firefighting campaign edition?
So the plot of Planes 2, I guess.
Oh, look, it's one of the bases from Phantom Pain.
Cute. Helicopter cargo transport.
Okay.
So in this game you're doing more than just flying around. You can do
So-
all
Oh,
sorts of
look,
other
Pedro,
tasks.
Portugal.
You get to simulate the air. So now you get to simulate all kinds of planes instead of just the transporting plane.
Hey, Pedro, you may have missed
Okay.
it. One of the planes was labeled as going to Portugal. See, we do
Sure,
remember
It's,
you
sure.
it's
exist.
the famous Air Portugal.
Sure, whatever keeps Azobo Studios' bills paid so they can make more Plague Tale games is fine by me.
Oh, right. They do also do Plague Tale.
Yeah, basically Plague Tale is their big passion franchise, where I'm
Well,
guessing this is so they can pay their
does
bills.
Requiem
basically.
still hand with the possibility of a third game?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the second game ends conclusively, Tale, but there's still a minor tease after the credits.
I wonder if eventually they'll add...
Oh, air racing.
Sweet. I wonder if eventually they'll add flying mechanics into one of their Plague Tale games. It's like, come on, guys.
Sorry for Joe. For a second there, I thought you were going to say, I hope they add fly mechanics into Flight Simulator.
Sure. again, if it keeps their
Oh,
bills,
hot air
pay-
balloons.
If it keeps money on their coffers, that's fine by me.
The sky is cool.
Oh, yeah,
Flight
no, it's a
Simulator
new game.
2024.
Oh, so it's a new game.
game.
Okay. So I guess the first one was really successful, apparently, if they're already coming out with another
That
one.
was in from 2020, if I recall correctly, so I guess they wanted some time to pass. What?
Yeah, it's a bit old.
Yeah, we're out in the
This
desert.
Dune. Yeah,
Coming to
that's
Microsoft.
different
Dune.
from Dune.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing
So I
Microsoft
guess
Flight
it's another
Simulator
big
does.
collaboration.
Sure.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is a big nest of collaborations.
Plot twist is actually adapting the David Lynch version.
Is that
That one
bad?
did not really showcase. Well, okay, it's divisive among fans, Jova.
And I'm not
And
the
also,
most familiar with
I
games,
can't wait
so-
for the inevitable multiverse version of it, where Timothée Chalamet goes one-on-one with Sting.
Sure. I just wish.
Long live the
Yeah, there you go.
fighters.
See the film in theaters and play the expansion November 3rd, 2023.
Yeah, I was planning on seeing the movie anyway.
Xbox Game Studios presents
Hi.
Hellblade 2.
Speaking to you from
Okay,
our performance
fine.
capture
Okay, let's
stage
see.
at Ninja Theory, where we have just wrapped our shoots for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
You know,
When we
I have
first
to
showed
wonder
gameplay
if the
for
name
Hellblade 2,
Hellblade
it
was
was a mix
meant
in some
to
of the
be
game's
a
cinematic
cheeky
and
little
immersive action,
opposite
where
reference
Senua
to
faced
Heavenly
off against a
Sword.
gigantic troll on the Icelandic
That's what a
coastline.
couple of people
Probably.
speculated. Oh god, not this trailer, please.
Possibly.
Eh?
Hold on. She's just referring to what she showed us last time.
Yeah, I know, which
A unique
was
perspective on the world
like
and the intimate
good
journey
to
that
see,
awaits
but
in
yet
Senua's
another
Saga.
that did not really have any
What you'll see
gameplay, so
today
hopefully
is
this
all
one
captured
will.
by
Wait, wasn't that?
on
Well,
Xbox
wasn't the
Series
last
X.
showing gameplay though? We actually saw.
No,
No, that was a
Really introduced it
cutscene.
with the term cinematic.
In
Was it?
game.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I remember seeing actual proper.
No, it was the classic scripting that tried to fake itself as gameplay, but even
Oh.
guided shit.
Okay, well, hopefully this will show gameplay. Let's see.
They have been working on this
I
game
mean,
for a bit.
this game has been in development for nearly what, like 4 years
Ninja
at this point.
Theory, and again, even so, Ninja Theory hasn't been done things in a while. Even that, like, what is Tabim doing?
Well, this is the new Tamim game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah. Sorry, what was the name? Like Bloody Edge, like I forgot it. Bleeding Edge. I said Bleeding Edge. Oh, there you go, gameplay. Right now.
I think it might be. I don't.
Well, yeah, technically this is gameplay. Yes, he's just walking around, but technically it is.
A part of you that darkens.
And again, Hellblade will add a lot of walking around the first one, so this is actually to be expected.
Yeah. Like, like with me, yeah, walking is no, but unless it's like, say, oh,
They seem to be retaining the whole, voices in their head that talk from different angles.
Well, they should. That's kind of the whole point. So.
Whoa.
Trippy.
What the fuck?
Did David
Okay,
Lynch
so it's
guest
more of a-
write for this?
Okay, so it's more of a walk to the cutscene bit, I guess. Hopefully. Well, hopefully we'll actually see proper gameplay of the combat. Because I really hope they improve the combat from the first game, because I wasn't too keen on it.
What?
Drink your Ovaltine.
Well, the graphics look fantastic. I can say that. And she said that this footage is running on the Xbox Series X. So yeah, sure.
There's your gameplay.
It's in game, but it's not actual gameplay. Like I want to see the combat though.
Even in general, these days, most games, tend to have their cutscenes done in game instead of having pre-rendered FMVs. All of them still do, obviously, but equally a lot of them.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper to do it that way anyway, because.
Are you ready for what you will find here?
Are you ready to see the gameplay?
Anytime now, I guess.
What if it's all for nothing?
Ooh,
Yeah. Oh my god, it's that scene from Last Jedi where she sees where Rey sees multiple versions of it.
The reason I want because Aaron Greenberg actually did mention on Twitter that they were planning on definitely showing gameplay of stuff. And like I said, I didn't care for how the PlayStation Showcase, when they revealed something like the new, their first party stuff outside of Spider-Man, they just showed CG teasers.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see gameplay of this.
So I've never
I
played.
think Helldivers 2 did show gameplay.
Oh yeah, okay. You're right, actually. Okay, Spider-Man and Helldivers 2 aside.
Anyway, so I have never played Hellblade, so I'm guessing for those who have, this makes sense in context.
I can help you there. Basically, it's a puzzle-driven game, but it also has combat sections to it. I don't care much for how it's designed, but again, I don't want to go into a rant about the game.
I was mainly asking about the story or context of what's going on.
She's literally said, I am here now.
It's a story about exploring the topic of schizophrenia, basically. And what it's like to be a person with that, basically.
Especially for like a deity, because Senua is supposed to be part of the Celtic pantheon.
Okay, given the studio that's behind it, was the narrative handled well?
Are you serious?
That
Really?
was it. Only because SpongeBob predicted. That was just a bunch of cheap walking cycles.
No, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say it. Okay, come on. You're telling me that you still can't show me proper good amount of gameplay from this thing? It's been like what, 4 years or something.
That is the like. Oh. Ichiban, what are you
on
doing
a beach? Yakuza?
Is this the new Like a Dragon?
I guess it's like a Dragon 8.
Yakuza, now with Beach Edition. Whoa!
It's no longer Yakuza,
Ichiban, what have you done?
They reverted back to the original Japanese name. Now it's
I
like
would like to remind you that the first teaser for Like a Dragon 7 was having Ichiban in a trash can.
Oh, look, awesome
and
power
now he's
style
naked.
weapon. Style censorship.
Thank you, Hermit Crab. No one seems to mind that he is nude. Wait, is he in is he in America?
I guess. The others are speaking in English.
Is this? I'm guessing this is gonna be one of those games where it's like in Tekken, where everyone speaks their natural language.
They normally tend to do that. Yes, Waves.
Sure, fine, yeah, whatever. That's good.
Even in the previous Yakuza games, they have like Chinese characters who did speak in Chinese. Yeah. How did you not realize you were naked until now? Ichiban, what is wrong with you?
Did he just get incredibly pissed and somehow ended up in America?
Like a dragon, infinite wealth.
What?
I
have a lot of questions.
Okay, don't get me wrong, that's nice and all. Sadly,
did Ryuga Gotoku Studio is having a showcase in a couple of days? Maybe we'll talk more about it.
Also, like I said, at least with Yakuza, we usually know how those games go, so I'm a bit more forgiving with the lack of gameplay shown.
It's like a dragon now.
Yes, I know Pedro already mentioned that, but I will say this though, it is still a bit annoying we didn't get to see some gameplay, but like Tio said, maybe they'll show it at a later show, like how Ubisoft are later going to show it.
There. That doesn't excuse.
Fallout 76. Why are you still here?
Well, okay, that being said, I will stand my ground on the fact that that doesn't excuse Hellblade 2 not showing any gameplay. It's been
No, it doesn't. Like, that game
let me
is...
see when that thing was. Let me see when that game was announced, because I'm pretty sure it's been like 4 years or something.
Like, here's another difference. This is the first we're hearing about this new, like, a dragon game, as opposed to Hellblade 2, which we've known about for years at this point.
Yeah. Let me see. When was this shit announced?
Epicurean bliss. Put your rad shield on and fix your hair up pretty, because we're headed for the boardwalk of Atlantic City. So there you have it. Now you know. There's a million ways to make the wasteland your waste home. And when you hear adventure calling, when you're looking for some kicks.
I do like these animations, they do.
It's been a staple since at least the third game. I forgot if even 1 and 2 had it. The idea behind it is that it's basically 60s propaganda that got people into shelters to resist a nuclear fallout.
I can't believe Fallout 76 is still alive.
World premiere.
World premiere.
Whoa.
Extravagant. Boy,
This Battle Frame, or Project Zero as it's called.
Boy, Okami got weird.
Project Zero's a bit darker than this, is Capcom.
Wait.
I was going to say Project Zero's a bit darker than this,
is it actually Okami?
No, I can't draw out. Okami is much more cel-shaded. This is more akin to Onimusha.
A new Onimusha game.
Yeah, I just checked. Senua's Sacrifice, Hellblade 2, was announced at the Game Awards on December 12, 2019. So 2019, we were going on to 2023. Yeah, nearly 4 years. So what is this specifically? Is it
I guess
IP?
it's a beat 'em up because they showcase different class
Yeah, it looks like
types.
it doesn't look like anything that I think of what it is.
Again, I'm super rusty with the Onimusha games, so I don't know maybe if it is a new title or not.
Maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Possibly.
I mean, Capcom is supposed to have a showcase tomorrow anyway, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, they'll probably talk more about this.
I mean, they're sure. I'll give them credit. They're showing gameplay here. Path of the Goddess.
Path of the Goddess.
And... Oh!
Okay.
A new IP?
I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Huh.
Sure.
It has been a bit of a while
Play
since
it day one
Capcom
with
have made
Game
a new
Pass.
IP.
Well, no, they're having Pragmata and Exoprimal in development.
Oh, another Xbox game. So Everwild, maybe?
Oh, it's
Forza.
probably Forza.
Oh, Forza. Okay, Forza. Well, okay. Just to put a final pin on the Hellblade thing, real quick. Okay, regardless of whether or not Teo is right about the 2021 gameplay reveal, because it says right here on the December 2021 game, it says gameplay reveal, but Teo says it's apparently scripted to make it look like gameplay.
If
But I
that's
don't know
really
if it is.
supposed to be gameplay, I'm not, really impressed in the slightest.
But regardless, okay, you know what? For the sake of argument, let's just say it's gameplay. It may not be, but okay. In that case, why not show gameplay here too? Then.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Like, I think Teo kind of had a point that a lot of that stuff was scripted, and maybe potentially somewhere along the line something happened.
Oh my God, Jopa! They have again a car on stage.
Yes! Oh my God! It's back! Oh, thank goodness!
So here we are, the latest installment of Force Motorsport.
Wait, 2 cars! What the heck?
2 cars.
It's to compensate for the absence.
This is legit the hypest thing from the show so
okay.
far. Microsoft finally brought the car back on stage.
I looked it up. Apparently, Forza's Italian for Force.
again,
strength, yes.
I'll just say my usual spiel. I'm sure this game will be fun. It's just that, like, it's just more Forza,
Well, again, Michael,
I've seen this.
let me put it this. It's Forza, so, it's for racing and car fans. If you're neither of those, well, yeah, I'll just pass on this. That being said...
I get that. It's just that there's a new Forza game every year, and I feel like it would be much better if they spaced out the releases, basically.
From what I can understand, again, let's assume that there's no sense of crunch. They seem to have a formula that helps them get these out efficiently enough while updating them enough.
Forza series. And the Motorsport series is made by Turn 10 Studios, and the Horizon series is made by Playground. The last one we got was Forza Horizon 5, now we're getting this by Turn 10.
Especially because Playground is doing the Fable game instead.
Yeah, and then after this one comes out, I'm guessing now it's Playground's turn to make Forza Horizon 6.
So perhaps we'll be fine.
And I'm getting the idea Motorsport is more about circuit racing, while Horizon is about the open world exploration, like they showcased the last couple of years.
I'll just say this. It looks like a good Forza game. Enough said. If you're into Forza, good for you. If you're not into Forza, yeah, this will probably do nothing.
Bethesda presents.
In-game footage and cinematics.
Probably online, if it is.
Speaking
it will be, yeah.
Speaking of online, speaking of online games on Xbox, is Phantasy Star Online 2 worth playing?
It's an MMO, Dweebs, you have to be committed to it.
I've heard that it is, but again...
I definitely have heard people...
Well, to be fair, Taylor, he is into Final Fantasy 14, so he has experience with MMOs.
Yeah, but he bought stuff to skip along basically in the entire part of the story to be on level.
I'll say this, Twibs, if you like the gameplay, then stick and commit to it. If it's not for
this
you...
looks like Elder Scrolls Online. Hey, at least we're not having a guy on stage saying that it's the most played MMO of the world. At least we're improving on that.
But I thought you want a trial that goes up to level 100.
For forbidden knowledge of mystery long kept hidden.
Okay, when was the last time looking at forbidden knowledge turned out well for anybody?
I'm pretty sure there are at least a couple of RPGs where it's the key to defeat the villain.
I saw a One Piece. The most recent One Piece movie literally had a forbidden song that can destroy people.
It worked for Yugi.
Yeah, but he's the pharaoh.
There you go. You wanted an example where it works.
Well, actually, technically, Tim is the pharaoh. Yugi's just a normal.
They're the same person.
No. You see, one is Yami, the other is one is Yugi, the other is Yami Yugi.
Waking the Dragon arc.
Save time, real who?
Yeah, it's probably Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls. Necrom.
Elder Scrolls Online, Necrom. Shadow over Morrowind.
Next.
Sure. June 20th on Xbox and Steam. Well, there's your Activision quota, I guess.
Overwatch 2, yeah.
I mean, the art style's still on point.
Please excuse the mess going on with the actual single-player content that you wanted for the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Overwatch 2 looks fine, but I guess from what I have seen and heard, it has yet to justify separating itself from the original Overwatch as a new game, per se.
Been a while, Vivian.
As if I didn't have enough problems already.
So we fly up there, smash through anything that gets in our way, and what's another business?
I hate to interrupt the moment, but I'm picking up reports of more attacks in other cities.
It's a fight they want. I say let's give it to them.
New ways to play. Flashpoint game mode.
Flashpoint? Wow, what do you have to do?
I mean, one of the players is legit a time traveler. Speaking of which, Eye Tracer. The music sounds nice.
is counting on us.
Overwatch 2, a new adventure begins August 10th. I guess there's the single player stuff.
Let's go.
Keiko. Life Weaver.
Ramacha.
Sojourn. Joker Queen. Oh.
So new hero starter pack. Okay, unlock Game Pass Ultimate on 10. There you go. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
World premiere.
Next.
Atlas.
Oh,
No, the other.
Oh,
was
hey,
kept
Persona
secret.
5.
Yeah, the other.
Yeah, Persona 5 Tactica. Yeah. Oh, okay. Everybody became chibi now.
It's like in Shadow of the Labyrinth for the game on the 3DS.
So from what I understand, this isn't quite Persona Q3.
No,
No.
Persona Q was actually a dungeon crawler. This seems to be a tactical
Strategy
RPG.
Okay.
So it's like Fire Emblem.
Once again,
Sure.
It's just another everybody. Here's another chapter of Atlas milking the shit out of Persona 5.
Yeah,
Even
like
further.
You know what?
I appreciate the change of gameplay because again, it's experimentation or anything, but this couldn't be its own original thing or an actual other SMT spin-off.
I am fine with this, honestly. I love me some Persona 5, but one thing I have noticed is this. Akechi and Kasumi are once again nowhere to be seen, so it's pretty much official.
Well, I mean...
Hold on, let me finish this. It seems to be official at this point that Persona 5 base game is what's considered the canon story between both this and Strikers, more following in line
even with the
than Royal.
Oh, November.
Well, I mean, even with the OG canon, it kind of makes sense. I mean, Akechi is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, though, well, everyone thought that the spin-offs would follow Royal's plotline since Royal was supposedly be the definitive one, but I guess not in terms of what's canon plot-wise.
She's really dedicated to her gymnast stuff.
Oh, Starfield.
Humanity has always hunted for
When are we gonna get it's on direct? I mean...
Well, we did have, even in the past, the stuff that was like a short trailer and then he says the gameplay presentation afterwards.
I wonder if this is just...
But that we have measured it.
We measured it.
What? The size of Todd's ego?
It is 4 times the size.
That being said, Tail, since Ashino and his team are making Project Ray Fantasy, it's going to be a while before we get a Persona 6, so Atlas has to make back their money somehow.
A brand new universe, 25 years in the making. Yep, let's get that hype a-rolling.
The biggest question of all. What's...
I'll wait till we see the direct before I talk about this.
Huh, No Man's Sky looks a bit different.
I can tell you already, even from the previous trailers, that I'm not a super fan of the color palette.
It does look a bit dour, color-wise.
Like, there is still color, and sometimes it's not desaturated, but in all of our cases, it is, and it doesn't make it too much pleasant to look at.
We do not fully understand all
I personally don't mind the way it looks. It looks fine to me.
I will say this, it does seem interesting, an intergalactic space simulator. You know...
You can tell they're trying to emulate the look of a 2001 or an Interstellar. They're trying to emulate that specific aesthetic.
Did they render every particle of every bit of every rock of Saturn's ring belt?
The universe is asking us to unravel. Human settlements throughout the galaxy could be at risk.
Good to see that even in the future we still have a good old revolver to use.
I do like how you can play both in first person and...
Well, that has been a staple since, I think, Morrowind.
I'm not familiar with this stuff, too.
Well, it has been a staple since, you know, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout games that Bethesda has done.
It is nice, nonetheless, to have that as an option. I always prefer the choice.
This is where we belong.
Starfield, the game you've been waiting
Take
for.
the T and the L.
Again, I'll talk about this more when we actually see the proper direct.
September 6th.
Okay, Bethesda, you gave us a release date. Now, can you commit to it?
Starfield Direct. Stay tuned at the end of the showcase for Starfield Direct. Okay. I'll save my thoughts for that then.
I will say this, the fact that they're saving a whole direct for Starfield does hopefully suggests that they've got a lot to show for that
Confidence
game.
in it. Yeah, if they're, it does seem like they're confident in
It's
that. This
the
one,
first new major IP that Bethesda is having in-house developed in a very long time. So yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, is that you?
I was thinking
no,
that
actually,
too
these
at
guys
first.
are rope, so no.
True, yeah. Tom Cruise would never climb with a rope proper.
Okay.
I forgot. Did in-universe James T. Kirk was climbing El Capitan without a rope or not at the beginning of Star Trek 5?
I think he was doing it without a rope, but don't
Because of
quote
all
me on
needs to
that.
conquer the mountain.
God, Star Trek 5 was such a weird film.
I'm actually tempted to take a rewatch of the Hellblade 2 gameplay reveal from 2021 just to remind myself of how it is.
Oh, what the
What
fuck
the
is
hell?
that thing?
Okay.
A sky hole?
I'm guessing this is trying to emulate.
Oh god, those eyes!
So I'm guessing this is one of those indie games that's trying to emulate the Team Eco style.
Oh, so that's just his commute to home. Oh, don't nod.
Oh, don't nod. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
I guess it is
Jabba,
climbing simulator.
well, remember, Jabba, Don't Nod has a lot of games in development right now, so...
I see they've been busy.
Yeah. They're making that open world RPG thing that we saw a few months back. They're probably also making another Life is Strange type game, just not Life is Strange, just a new IP instead. No.
A lot of
I
parkour too,
still haven't
see.
played it. Tell me why. Does that one end openly or not?
No, it ends conclusively.
Okay. So it is busy. Oh, okay. You can pet the abomination.
I plan on recording. Tell me why, so you'll be able to see for yourself if you want to. In that.
Jusant?
Climb Fall 2023.
Jusant, maybe because it's
It
French.
did look like a very eco style game. I will say that.
Where you mostly climb. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
World premiere.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a Team Eco inspired game.
Oh.
Water.
Secret mode.
Secret mode.
Chinese
What's so secret
room.
about it?
The Chinese room. Okay.
Okay. Is this the
Yo ho ho, a pirate's life for me.
that doesn't look like a pirate ship to me.
Yo ho, yo
Okay.
ho, an oil miner's life for me.
Oh. Oh, I guess
Okay.
is this something akin to Soma or Monstrum?
I do not know.
Those first-person horror.
Whoa.
Why is there music that's kind of like the one of Death Stranding?
Probably inspired by.
Still wakes the deep.
Still the deep wakes, huh? Still the
Still
wakes
wakes
deep.
the deep. Still.
How am I
Still
supposed
the
to
deep
read
wakes.
this title?
Still the wakes deep?
Don't that opening side.
Or is it
Well, I
wake
have no
still the
fucking clue
deep?
What that? I have no fucking clue what that game is. Moving.
Oh, aye.
Still the wakes from deep. Whatever.
Wait, Hi-Fi Rush?
Sideways.
Nah, that's too early for a possible sequel.
Supercut
Still
2.0.
see.
Oh no, it's not Hi-Fi Rush. That's weird. That style looked like it
Let
at
me
first.
see. I'm looking at it right now, Tail. It's Still Wakes the Deep.
Okay.
Okay.
Still Wakes the Deep.
Seriously, the placement of those names. Oh, minecart sequence. I guess you can customize this girl's skin tone colors.
New day, new dungeon.
Grinding, rain, chest.
Well, I do like the visuals. They look really good. So this looks like yeah.
There's a lot of purple.
Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Okay.
Coming next
Oh, it looks like it could be fun.
Hey.
2024.
Looks like it could
Also
be good, I
playing
guess.
Game Pass.
Yeah, of course. Most of these indie games are most likely going to be. Oh,
Oh,
hey,
hi,
Keanu.
Keanu.
Keanu Reeves.
To be returning.
Oh,
as
it's the new
Johnny
expansion for Cyberpunk. Isn't it?
Wait,
Yeah.
how will you be returning as John? John's kinda, you know...
Did he die?
I was pretty sure he died.
Joe, but you cannot kill Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves kills you.
Introduces Idris Elba as secret.
Yeah, there's also Idris Elba in this.
Oh, Idris Elba. Cool.
Also,
Idris Elba seems to be in everything these days.
As a player, you'll get to visit Dogtown.
why does Keanu sound like he cannot move his jaw too much?
Rescue the president of the
He's getting old too.
States of America.
I mean, isn't he 60 now?
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well, he carries those years very gracefully, I will tell you that.
I know the team at CD Projekt Red just keeps raising the bar when it comes to telling cinematic stories and video games.
Did he bring him
And
back
I
to
really can't wait
life?
for you to play it on Xbox
I do not know.
Series X and S.
Oh wait, his consciousness might have been saved on some device.
Well, yeah, it's
now that I think
cyberpunk
about it.
logic, Joe. If they store your memory on
I
chips, you can
haven't
be
seen-
interested in something.
I haven't seen any of the story from the games, so...
What were these zoom ins? Is this made by the office?
There's gotta be a way out of this.
There's got to be. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, at the time of this recording, Keanu Reeves is 58.
He still can move pretty spryly, it seems.
Okay, it seems like Theo is right, and I was gaslighting myself. Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay reveal of Hellblade 2 for 2021 again. Yeah, no, never mind, Theo is right. Yeah, there's not really that much of convincing stuff here. Yeah,
Again, even Jelf introduced this using the word deliberately cinematic, so...
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those tricks game developers like to do where, it's in-game
Deep down, Jova.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's in-game footage, and hey, you're someone probably playing a version of the game, but most of it is probably already preset.
Stay sharp. We're in the wolf's den now.
So yeah, we legit don't really know too much about Hellblade 2.
Well, okay, I'm guessing. Okay, I played the first one, so I have a good idea of how it's gonna play. But that doesn't mean.
If you're someone like me who has never played Hellblade before.
Yeah, especially because Senua's Sacrifice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Senua's Sacrifice is having a lot more eyes on it than the first game because it's a big Xbox first-party game. So they should still convey the gameplay to people.
Oh, there's Idris.
There he is.
As a bartender, I guess.
Sure, why not?
People get hurt.
And so this is Idris Elba putting on his American accent.
You sure that was an American accent?
Sounds like it.
Sounds British.
This will compromise. British American. There you go.
Oh,
Atlantic
so
then.
maybe Keanu is an hologram, I guess.
That could be. So let's see. So Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba finally together.
Together at last.
A pairing I've always wanted.
Phantom Liberty coming on September.
All footage captured.
All footage captured in game.
Okay.
Cars. Every
road
has its beginning.
Rome?
Yeah.
Oh.
Every home.
Every home.
Okay. All of
Gets
this
blown up. Bang!
All of this can be yours for the low price of $1 billion.
Every skyscraper.
Pedro,
Every roundabout.
Pedro, this is a game showcase, not an NFT showcase.
Every district.
district.
Every city. It's
Are you
all
sure it's not
yours.
this? This seems like one.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
What about
I
that
don't know why they're
shadow
eating my
place over
problem.
there? Is
No,
nothing
don't go there, sir.
Oh.
Without
you.
You are now God.
Oh, it's
a city builder.
People,
Okay.
it's like SimCity, okay.
Now,
Okay.
now you are God player, which you just know. Let's Game It Out is going to have a field day with this.
And all the famous city architects in the world are like, okay, well, fine. You don't like how I build the city? Fine, you do it yourself.
Not for nothing, marketing department. Like, I feel like it's not a good idea to show footage of like I don't know. I seriously doubt the actual in-game buildings are going to look as good as they did in the first couple seconds of the trailer. But
I
well, I guess we'll
mean,
see.
to be fair, they look fine. These graphics look fine enough, and they did.
Oh, I don't know the graphics. I just think there was an inconsistency there.
They
You
make cities.
make cities.
They did.
I guess it looks fine if you're into city builders.
They did preface that it's all in-game footage, so.
Sure.
Oh,
Coming
City
October
Skylines
24th.
2.
City Skylines 2.
I mean, I guess it looks fine if you're into city builders, I guess.
I honestly didn't know there was a Skylines 1.
I actually know about it. I know that it was fairly popular, so I thought that maybe this was a DLC for it, but I'm guessing it's just a sequel.
I wonder what they'll do to justify getting
Play
a
it day
sequel instead of
one
an
with Game
expansion.
Pass. So
World premiere.
Okay,
world
premiere.
World premiere.
How many world premieres do we have?
Oh my god, an Atlas game that wasn't leaked!
Oh, is this?
Oh wait, is this Project Real Fantasy? Let's see.
What if?
What if
In
the world we live in today...
is there utopia? Oh crap! It might be.
Is this a sequel to that Persona and Fire Emblem crossover?
Please no.
Oh, Ashino, yeah, this is Project Real Fantasy. There you go. Yeah, no, yeah, Shigeru no name, of course, and Shoji. Let me guess, Shoji Meguro doing the music? Yes, of course.
Well, Shoji Meguro has been doing the music since the early 90s.
I mean, he's a freelancer now.
Okay, so what's the story with this game?
It's the new game made by the Persona 3, 4, and 5 team. Basically, after finishing Persona 5, Jova, Ashino's next project is going to be an original IP, which is.
But it's been in development hell for a long while.
It's weird because the protagonist.
Basically, Jova, the main reason why Atlas is milking Persona 5 so much is because it's going to be a long time before we get a Persona 6. Because Ashino now is cashing in the goodwill to make an original IP of
Calling it now. We at Atlas are pleased to announce Persona 5 2 to keep you tided over before we get Persona 6.
This game seems to be borrowing out of aesthetics anyway from that.
Honestly, I'll be honest.
I was hoping it was going for a more original direction, but no, I guess.
I'll admit, the main protagonist, I'm assuming is the blue-haired one, literally reminds me of the protagonist from Persona 3.
Refantasio
in 2024.
That is certainly a name.
Okay, that's actually my favorite announcement so far. It looks pretty cool, actually. I mean, it's made by the same team, so I was already expecting a similar art style personally. So I'm not.
Even in the gameplay, it looks very like Persona 5 specifically.
Just with a bit of a Fire Emblem design coat of paint.
The creators of the Banner Saga. Hey, Tio, the Banner Saga.
Yeah, they did. Like I said, they did mention that they were working on something for Microsoft.
All right, let's see.
Our people's only means of survival is to seek sanctuary here, in the Belfry.
That's a windmill, though.
Oh my god, they literally built villages on a windmill.
Oh, looks like it's gonna be quite different than Banner Saga, it seems.
Yeah, it seems to be a more of a 3D game.
Alright, we'll see.
Monsters roam the forest, so
it's gonna
protect
be like
your
a 3D
windmill
RPG,
village.
hopefully.
Whoa!
Woo! Explore. Co-op
adventure. Okay.
Let me guess, customizable characters and the like.
It looks more like a beat 'em up.
In an
ever-changing world.
world.
Oh. I mean, okay, I might be looking too deep into that tagline, but it says in an ever-changing world. Are they making this into a games as a service? Hopefully not.
No, usually that's referred to roguelikes instead.
Yeah, ever-changing world. That
If
sounds
that's
more.
the case.
I think when I hear ever-changing world, I think more like there's going to be a randomizer mechanic.
I guess, sure.
And for a beat 'em up like this, I guess it works out.
Towerborn.
Okay.
Okay, not what I was expecting from this developer, but I'm sure it'll be fine, I guess.
Okay, that last shot of the map looked like there might be a capture mechanic where you have to take back pieces of land potentially.
I was expecting an RPG, but again, if you it looks like it'll be fine for what it is, hopefully.
It might have some RPG elements too. Oh, another first party showing.
Everwild, hopefully. Oh, never. Okay.
Gears of War.
Well,
Actually, this brings up a good point. Where the hell is Gears of War?
That is a good question, actually. Victory Steam. Boy, Professor Layton World of Steam looks interesting.
Lady Ironwood, the future is full steam ahead.
Wait, but since when were level 5 bought by Microsoft?
They were not first.
I was just playing along with you.
If I remember correctly, I think there's actually a law that prevents Western
He
companies
literally has a mechanized
Japanese
carpet
ones,
to be wherever he walks. Wait, what?
Well, shit, sorry, I have to play the trailer again.
Wait a minute.
But it only takes one rebellious little gear.
Wait, that actress.
Everything.
Lady Rotten.
Is that Diana from Hitman?
I don't know, dude. You tell me.
Sounds a bit like her.
Okay, so it's another first
Someone
person
played Bioshock,
shooter?
you need to...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not particularly knowledgeable, but it does remind me of how Bioshock Infinite looks, actually.
Whoa.
The aesthetic definitely reminds me of Bioshock Infinite. Oh, time mechanics.
Our enemies are everywhere.
Oh my god, this really does look a lot like Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, it does seem like it's probably trying to change the past.
So it's
change the future.
The opposite
you change
of
the
control.
They don't control the future. Yes. Okay, so at least they got the order right. Change the past to control the future. At least they got the order right.
It seems like you can essentially change up the entire world map by affecting stuff in the past.
Whoa.
I guess we'll see.
Clock. Work. Revolution.
Okay.
That does sound like...
Coming in due time.
It's ready when it's ready! High five.
Thank you all for joining us.
Oh, that's
Today
it?
is a special day for me and
Well, hold on. It has been about an hour.
11 games showcased.
Oh, yeah, I get a
Wow.
to get the Starfield Direct.
We opened with Fable from Playground Games, which will bring the franchise into the modern era while staying true to its British style and humor. Compulsion and In Exile shared their first original experiences since joining Xbox with South of Midnight and Clockwork Revolution. And we are thrilled at how Avowed is shaping up for release next year from the RPG masters at Obsidian. In addition to Avowed, our studios will deliver Hellblade 2, an all-new
Eventually.
Microsoft Flight
Eventually,
Simulator,
hopefully, considering we still haven't
and
seen
more
gameplay of the
in
bloody thing.
2024.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I
Later
actually
this
see
month,
it.
Players can look forward to Elder Scrolls Online next
And I literally mean when I actually see it. Like, haven't really gotten much
As we look
gameplay,
to
have
holiday,
we?
We will launch Starfield and Forza Motorsport.
That being said, this Xbox showcase was not per se terrible. They had a good amount. They had a good amount shown, but I will say this: I feel like it's not as great as their Inside Xbox show earlier this year was.
Like, let me put it this way. It's about on par for me when it comes to...
Kitsukami, that's what the Japanese bit said earlier.
Thanks to our continued
Let me put it this way. Not counting the Starfield Direct we're about to watch, because, like, it looks like it's fine, it's good for what it is, and it, like I said, for me the highlight is Metaphor so far.
Also, Sega Atlas, come on guys, Sega Atlas is right there.
and game creators
That being said, the first party side of things did leave quite a lot to be desired, in my opinion.
Most notably Hellblade 2, I'd say.
Yeah, but remember, we saw nothing from Compulsion's new game. We saw a cutscene, but we don't know even what the hell kind of game it is.
I wonder if at this point it's just safe to assume that Everwild is going to be quietly cancelled. And
yeah, and where the hell is Everwild?
Making it easier for fans to find
still probably on
when was Everwild announced?
We know you've wanted more storage with Xbox Series
That being
X.
said, I want to emphasize...
We have some news there.
For the Series S.
Well, was the Series X still in short supply?
No. He's talking about. I think he's talking about the space to put on it.
He's talking about this. He's talking about the Series S.
Okay.
And
Sure.
This is basically a new model of the Series S
with
more hard drive space in it.
Hey, now instead of looking like a fridge, it looks like a giant speaker.
So basically, if your Xbox doesn't have enough space in the hard drive, buy this new one.
I'm not gonna sell my Series S to just get more hard space. I'm just gonna get a Seagate expansion card.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Can the Xbox Series S and X do that external storage though, like the PS4 and PS5 can? I'm pretty sure it can, right?
I don't know.
Here we go. Here comes, and here we go. From one direct immediately into the other.
Good transition there. So, what were you going to say, Pedro?
Okay, let me put it this way. It was a good the showcase itself. Not I'm putting the showcase separately to the Starfield Direct because
fair enough.
The showcase itself is good. It showed a good amount of games, and like I said, Metaphor is the highlight for me. That being said, just like with the PlayStation Showcase, the first-party showings leave a lot to be desired. Although to be fair, I will say at the very least, PlayStation showed a great demo of Spider-Man 2. I really wish we could have had something like that for Hellblade 2. This would be the perfect opportunity to have a great 10-minute showcase of Hellblade gameplay, wouldn't it? I don't know. It's just like we saw Fable, and as someone who's never played,
there he is.
Bethesda games.
All right.
Okay, I'll be.
All right, Todd. Hopefully, what you have to show us is gonna be fucking amazing because
From the Elder Scrolls, the Fallout, we love creating these worlds and playing in them.
It truly takes a stoic man to be able to show his face after Fallout 76, but that's Todd for you. Now buy Skyrim again.
I'm seeing right here, Jova.
Never bought Skyrim.
I'm seeing right here, Jova. Everwild was announced in November 2019, so just like Hellblade 2, we're almost at 4 years and we still don't know what the hell this game even is.
And the sad thing about Everwild, Pedro, last we heard even Rare didn't know what Everwild was supposed to be. But okay. Let's focus on Starfield.
Yeah.
Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years, but it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through.
So does that mean it'll be extra buggy?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it's broken.
I mean,
obvious joke is obvious.
I mean, come on, they had to have known what they were setting themselves up for with that line, unless that was just.
You have to have the fans fix every glitch.
It's not ours. It's yours.
It's not ours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yours.
It's ours to fix.
We had the technology to create.
Okay, it looks pretty. That's good. But what more is there, Todd? Do enlighten us.
To the people and creatures that live in these worlds.
You've got about, I think, an hour or so to do it, so.
That moon is actually there.
The stage is yours, Todd. Go ahead.
Visit it too. We realistically simulate the galaxy around us.
You realistically simulated the galaxy. So did you pull a Christopher Nolan and actually, send some poor soul in a space pod so that they can calculate to you the ramifications of the galaxy?
I'm not sure if he's authorized to mention that.
And of course, you can play it in third person.
Top airspace program secret.
And you can play it in first person.
Can you ride the dinosaurs?
Can you pet? Well, actually, there's no dogs in here, so.
Pet the dinosaur.
Yeah, can you pet the dinosaur?
It's not here.
That usually involves exploring an area you've landed.
Hey, I remember that mechanic from No Man's Sky.
You can collect resources.
And that mechanic too from No Man's Sky.
Stumble upon something unexpected.
Huh. An abandoned mine.
Well, to be fair, both games have very similar concepts, so of course there's going to be similarities.
Yeah. I joke mainly. Although it is a bit of a raising eyebrow coincidence that you both have a space laser drill.
With the over-dramatic music.
It's to show you that you are...
yes, it is a fight, but I don't think it's that, life-changing.
Also, yes, jetpack mechanics. Neat. I'll take that. You can literally loot your opponents.
And all of the items allowing you to pick
could
everything.
do that, like you said, everything's Morrowind.
In
And it's well, too. It's I guess too. It's the Super Mario Galaxy 2 time and time where the final boss, while not being exactly grand, the music goes super hard. Still.
From all of your weapons to spacesuits.
I think Bethesda have never really short-stacked on the music.
When you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We have companions and crew you can take with you. I left Vasco here back at my ship.
A little robot companion.
And he can even say your name. Let's head out.
Oh,
nice. I can call myself Captain McFuckface.
The wonders of technology.
The wonder and majesty of space exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language where the tech
Hey, don't insult NASA like that, calling them a punk.
For us, it's that contrast. That's where the visual interest is. Obviously, the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style.
Okay, so it seems like the filter looks for the game are to simulate how the atmosphere looks on different planets.
Your ship is your home for you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our game,
Again, I'll give him credit. This looks pretty good and promising. Again, my main worry is, can you please tell me you're not once again just forcing the old creation engine tool with this thing? Like, actually tell me you got a new engine so that we aren't spending half our time fixing it.
You can choose a landing spot or fast travel to known locations.
I wonder, did they literally design like entire whole planets that you can traverse and explore, or just
that's the concept apparently? Yes.
Missions or life on them.
Imagine if they made it that you could go to the sun.
Resource heavy.
Oh, that's from the planet.
Zoom out even further to see all the systems in this part of the galaxy. Here you can
didn't stop us in Puppeteer.
Years away. This uses your ship's grav drive to fold space and jump to these systems.
Fold space, aka light speed.
If you want to jump to the most distant ones. But for now, we'll plot a course to the Alpha Centauri system.
Alpha Centauri system. I feel like I've heard that from somewhere else.
That's because it's supposed to be another galaxy name, Jova.
Ah. Yeah, I think because of that.
I think that was Star Trek.
I have heard that on Star Trek as well.
Alpha Centauri. Okay.
Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. You are cleared for.
I wonder if you can go renegade and actually zoom in through before they complete the scan, and then that makes you a wanted criminal.
Oh boy, New Atlantis, so is this one gonna sink as well?
Like New Atlantis, your eyes are guided upwards to just these boundless, vast buildings.
It's the biggest city we've ever made, not just in size, but also in the amount of custom art, crowds, and quests.
So the main focus when we're designing a city is obviously what supports the story. We try and tell as many small stories as possible.
This is a
that's good.
Memorial. It's a few moments of gameplay that make the space feel like it's full of real characters that are going about their day-to-day lives.
It's paralyzing if you really stop and think about it.
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also where your adventure with Constellation begins.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the time you meet them, Constellation is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're the last true explorers in the galaxy, and they're trying to find the answers to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien.
So
and I'm certain one of them reached
Despite apparently being descended from the United States, if that bit is to be believed.
The artifact. If you could place it on the table here.
Oh my god. Look at how it's coming together.
That means there's a set built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the
so essentially you're going to the space equivalent of Team America.
Mateo, the theologian who believes that there's definitely something else out there. Noel.
It looks like a game, well, okay, it looks like what a game like this should do. Have, obviously, a ton of side stuff, or just free play stuff you can do, but also have a gripping enough narrative for the main story.
Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
We literally have a space cowboy.
Former space cowboy.
Yeah. Bebop.
The journey you take with Constellation is just the first of many you'll embark on. The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
Oh, hey, Shalub.
The United Colonies is where you'll find New Atlantis, the first major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity.
So,
they consider
don't be an
themselves
asshole,
the true children
essentially.
of Earth.
You ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, even get your UC citizenship?
New Atlantis isn't the only city within the United Colonies. The city of Sidonia on Mars.
Hey! We really did finally colonize Mars.
It's very common for a sci-fi setting where humanity has reached a start where Mars was like
Beyond
the
the
first
United
colony.
Colonies reach,
It's not the moon,
you
it's
might
Mars.
find yourself in a much more wild and independent coalition of star systems. This is Freestar Collective Space.
You can literally dress up like a cowboy in space. Yes, please. Oh my god, it's a western in space.
A ranger relies on judgment and intuition to do what's best for the people.
It's Red Dead Redemption in space.
Well, everything in this game is in space. So.
I'll admit, I do dig that they're essentially giving us, hey, what if this world was futuristic but in space on a multi-regional scale? Which I'm guessing this is supposed to be Tokyo.
Everyone has been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Try not to get yourself killed.
Gang Wars.
Outside the bounds of civilized space, there are still plenty of unclaimed systems to explore, but these areas are also home to the most hostile factions in the galaxy.
Snakes, of course.
This idea where you, of course, like this thing where they're literally taking a space approach to planets in the galaxy and taking the Breath of the Wild thing of, oh, if you can see it, you can go there. It sounds incredibly impressive and everything. However, it does make me cautious as well because it does sound a bit like one of those too good to be true type of things, you know.
Not to mention there has been touch stick ever since Skyrim saying you see that mountain, you can climb it.
Remind me, okay, did Fallout 76 look great when it was first announced, you know, and shown off?
I don't remember.
Because, again, okay.
I didn't follow the marketing that much.
Here's the thing about Bethesda. They can give off some pretty great presentations. The problem is, as we've seen in the past, a lot of those presentations can sometimes be a load of horse hockey. And I really don't want that to be the case with this game because it really, really, really looks good. But like Pedro said, like with No Man's Sky, this almost feels a little too good to be true. And you know what? To give No Man's Sky credit, that had numerous factors going behind it. And even though they weren't able to get some of the stuff they promised, still they at least did come back to it and really fix it up big time, which is why people regard it more positively than negatively these days. But we never forget the process it took to get there.
Come on. Okay. Take it easy. You were out cold.
Hey, you're awake.
Awake. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
You know who you are? New recruit for Argos.
What is your name? Are you a boy or a girl?
Any of this look familiar?
Obviously, since I can name myself, I am Colonel McFuckface.
As though you're cycling through employee records.
I wonder how many names did they actually record for the AI
They
to
had
be able to
something
say
like this already going on in Fallout 4, so I get it's an evolution
From there
from
can
that.
be as detailed or as quick as you want it to be. This
You
new
can even
system
make
has
your
more
own
to
walk
offer than
style.
ever before.
It's also the simplest character generation system we've ever had. We let the player get as close as possible to make whatever they want. With the various facial morphs you can blend together, the dermesthetic and makeup,
God,
blemishes,
those beards
scars,
look
piercings,
awful, though.
teeth settings. It's a lot, but I think it's the most fun to use.
Stop smiling.
Is more than just how you look.
Smiling for the pain, I guess.
Who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in.
I'll give him credit. The Starfield Direct is well paced. Like, one thing I always fear with Directs dedicated to just one game is the fear of it potentially resorting to
weird because
padding.
if I recall correctly, Xbox is having like another one of these, which is probably more gameplay demonstrations in a couple of days.
They did say that there will apparently be some games that we have not seen at that show.
I don't know.
Whether or not it is worth commentating on, we shall have to wait and see.
Well, when is that exactly?
A couple of days from now. Let me check specifically.
Advantages and disadvantages.
Well, I myself, I don't want to just do the same one again. Just longer, so.
What?
You again?
And I'll give you gifts if you're willing to put up with this constant commentary.
Him again?
This guy has the same facial and hair structure as one of the more famous NPCs from the Elder Scrolls.
Is kid stuff.
Oh boy.
Say that.
This must be his descendant.
They're really sweet, and it's really fun to go.
I guess.
Oh, you can literally meet some game devs in the game. Cute.
I'm checking right now on Gamatsu Tale. It says the June 13th Xbox Showcase Expo that you mentioned. It says right here, the broadcast, which will follow Xbox, will feature in-depth interviews focused on news from Xbox Game Showcase, as well as updates from Microsoft, which was the case the last year. So
yeah, so it's more of a,
I'm keeping my expectations low in terms of seeing Hellblade 2 gameplay, because last time they had an extended version of the showcase, it was just gameplay, it's like developer interviews.
Just talk, no footage, damn.
Yeah, that's why. Remember, you guys even asked me if it was worth doing, and I told you
right,
no.
Yeah, now the memories are coming back.
I actually bought it because you guys were all busy, so I decided to tune in for that. Then I was all like, you know what, this is so boring, I'm gonna turn it off.
Once you've built the perfect character, that's where the journey
that being said, yeah, again, this game looks pretty impressive and incredible.
Character models aside.
the idea of having an entire well, to be fair to us, with a game this expensive, of course the graphics are not going to be on the level of a Final Fantasy 16 or something like that.
I will say
I'm not expecting that. This is expecting.
Okay.
I don't really even want that. I just wish the car distribution was better in general.
Sure. Yeah, okay. The car now that is a better complaint to bring up.
If I may, I feel like, yes, it is great that graphics can get to this level of realism, but one thing I've come to realize is, like, trying to make graphics realistic is what tends to drain a lot of the budget in games like these. Like,
Conventional balloon the size.
Like, okay, look at something like Hi-Fi Rush. Probably more so a AA game, but it's incredible. Probably because it can focus on stuff other than trying to crank up the graphics to the most realistic setting. Like, while Nintendo do need to make new hardware at this point, I will say, one means that they have had in maintaining their console is that they optimize their games while also using art styles that can befit the system, while still packaging in a lot to it as well. I wish that other game studios weren't so focused on trying to get things looking ultra super high def realistic, and maybe go with more of a variety in art styles that could help with variety and also help it so that they don't have to spend like a gajillion dollars on the game and thus balloon the amount that they're expecting it to make back.
I like doing the death from above thing where I boost pack over guys and I throw landmines at
Wow. That feels like a Dwig's move.
Well, they did ask to each of these developers what is their favorite thing to do.
Well, again, whether or not this turns out to all be a load, again, it's a good presentation, which it should be. I hope it's an honest one, too.
In Starfield, there are full star systems with new life, resources, and adventures.
But can you tame and capture
strike a
wildlife?
balance between fun and realism. We study data from NASA and a multitude of other sources to help us make the world feel believable.
Okay, so they got data from NASA.
From the way
Good
we
on them.
approach planetary atmospheres to the way we place biomes based on the planet's distance from the sun. Once we had created a grounded world, we could start looking at all the things that make that world fun. When you leave a planet and head into space, you'll be navigating asteroid fields.
Oh boy, now you can do your own Kessel Run.
Fighting in space and exploring derelict.
Yeah, I can do it in less than a parsec's a unit of distance, not time. So
It's all out there.
Wow, can you even touch down on an asteroid?
Your curiosity, because whether it's on the surface of a planet, the alleys of a city, or the vastness of space, you never know what you'll find.
Man, this game is gonna have to pull out all the stops to keep from.
But yeah, like I was trying to say, like, for a game this expensive, of course the graphics are not gonna be like a game like a game like Uncharted 4 can afford to look as good as it does because it's a linear action adventure game. Same thing with other games that it's built. Like for example, one of the big reasons why Final Fantasy 13 looked so gorgeous for its time is because, according to Toriyama, the idea was to make the game look super gorgeous all the time, which is why they had to make the game linear as fuck to compensate. So, as Naoki Yoshida years later would describe that kind of thing as a quote-unquote unhealthy obsession with graphics. Basically.
Yeah. I will say this, honestly, I think the game looks just fine enough. Like,
oh no! Graphically, it looks perfectly. I like it. It looks pretty great, honestly, for the kind of game that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the character models don't look great, but I can get past that.
Have you ever seen the previous Elder Scrolls games?
No, I'm not really. I don't really have much.
Again, each of them has the same kind of thought process. For the time the game was out, the character models looked fine, but then they age almost instantaneously in terms of threshold. But it's something that the fan base actually tolerates.
And yes,
also,
you can
customize your ship, which begs the question: how long before people start making penises?
Well, given that rocket ships, including Elon Musk's rocket ship, literally looks like a penis, we're kind of already there when you get to it. Like, if you look at the ship at that angle, it does look like a penis.
You can have modules for crafting.
For storing and it's like I said, this game actually looks pretty interesting and impressive for what it's trying to do. The idea of going from planet to planet and just, like exploring an entire galaxy, like the way they're describing in this direction. Yeah, it looks like super interesting and appealing. I'm just hoping the game will release in a polished state and actually fulfills these promises.
Like, I'll admit, if this were a studio that weren't Bethesda, I would not have this worry as much. But it is still Bethesda. It is a tale as old as time that their games come out kind of crumbling upon themselves with bugs.
Yeah, because like I said, it does look like an amazing prospect. I'm just hoping it actually is indeed not too good to be true.
Oh, wow, you can literally design a mecha, it seems.
Teo, do you know for how long has this game been in development?
A while at least. Officially announced, I think it was only a few years ago. But it was rumored to be in development for a very long while.
Oh god, maybe it has been in development for 25 years.
Well, the idea behind it at the very least, Todd described it as the project that he always wanted to make, apparently.
Oh, of course, in Fallout style, you can get companions, it seems.
Well, they showcased before even at the diplomacy tracks if you want.
Each companion comes with their own valuable
also, Sarah's specialty is that she's British.
As well as
cute. She's British in an American world.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone
Oh, you can fall in love with some companions. How nice.
Yeah, again, there you go. The studio has been delving into space-themed games since as early as 1994, according to Todd Howard, but they always conceptualized wanting to do something like this.
So this could potentially have its
So it
own
really
What
is an
Happened
adventure
episode.
25 years in the making.
And their unique skills will affect how
The trademark was first filed in 2013.
And just like companions, most crew members can lend a hand in the field.
I really hope this game really delivers on its promises, because after the Redfall debacle, Microsoft really needs a W.
Yeah.
Also, there you go. It started official development after the release of Fallout 4 in late 2015. So on a practical level, this is almost, this is actually 8 years in the making.
Yeah. One concern that I do have, by the way, aside from the ones that I just mentioned, not related to the game itself, because we saw, if you guys follow Digital Foundry like I do, you'll see that in recent times we've seen quite a lot of examples about how developers are having trouble with the Xbox Series S, because remember, it's quite less powerful than the PS5 and the Series X. And as a result, some of these Series S versions of some recent major games have had trouble. Even Redfall suffered this problem. For a game of this scale, I really hope they manage to still have the Series S version work fine. I'm not expecting the game to have 60 FPS on even the Series X. I'm pretty confident, considering the scale of this game. Most likely, only the PC version will have the ability to run at 60, most likely.
I wonder if that new Xbox Series S that they're making is going to have better processing
No, that
power.
one is only the one major difference is with the increased storage capacity.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
1
it's the same
terabyte.
still.
Then my guess is they'll probably include a footnote on the cover saying best played on Series X, or performances may vary.
Well, again, this is Bethesda we're talking about. I'm guessing the PC version is still probably gonna be, the best optimized and
Powering
everything.
up the ground tries will shorten the amount of time it takes before you can make a jump.
So there's, well, you haven't said much. What do you think of Starfield so far?
Looks fine.
And moving your power to
There's
your
a British
weapons and
person
shields
in it,
means
looks
you're ready
fine.
for a fight.
But aren't you excited to travel through this
always
vast
be on your toes
space and
because
explore all
you're
the
not alone
planets
out
and see what you can find?
And hopefully
Can you do
not.
that in No
cause-
Man's Sky?
No, No
they-
Man's, well,
yes,
No Man's
sir.
Sky was wasn't like a survival game. This is more like a...
Well, it has survival components, but roughly it tries to do kinda sort of like what
looks
this is doing.
Well, compared to No Man's Sky, this seems to be more story-driven and an actual RPG. So it still has quite a lot of different stuff to it. Not to mention, it does seem like, considering the amount of stuff that they're showing us, it does seem like it's probably going to release in a better state than No Man's Sky, at least.
Yeah. It not being an indie title probably helps with that too.
Let's hope that, again, like you guys have been saying, let's hope this is not going to be one of those cases where the game releases unpolished in true Bethesda fashion, because that would be a problem if that is the case.
And it would probably be pretty heartbreaking, because this is definitely a game that's been lengthy in the making, and not only did Microsoft need a W, but Bethesda really needs something to rehabilitate their image after Fallout
Bethesda
76.
themselves also need a W, so yeah, it's a lot is running on this game, and yeah, this game has basically the entire weight on its world on its shoulders. So let's just hope it does indeed deliver.
I wonder, can you explore the ships that you make, like, with how you build them?
We did mention, yes, I think.
There are plenty of sights to see.
I love how you can literally make one. Oh god, the fact that you can make one human shape means we're probably gonna see one that has boobs on it.
I mean, again, if you can make a penis with that,
Of course they would.
And then there'll be one that has.
Don't you see, guys, if you can think it.
What the heck is that beard?
You think you can fuck it?
Yes.
Watch when they make one with boobs
It's like that
and...
Robot Chicken sketch about the fembot. You said with the press conference, like, can you fuck it?
Terran Preservation
There
Society.
are plenty of personal encounters to be had as well. You can hail any ship you come across to trade, swap info, or maybe even commit.
Oh, so you can actually do Star Trek style communication.
When I'm playing, I generally go crazy.
Nice.
I definitely go like the more piracy routes. I want to take over ships. I'm
You
board
can
ships,
literally-
You see
steal
webs now. You see webs now. You can just explore space and
vandalize other
and go-
players' ships, like a space pirate.
Don't you see webs? We can discover new lives and new civilizations.
Oh my god, did you
Boldly
see-
go
Did you go
where
where
no
nobody's
gamer
gone
has gone before.
Did you see that rendered food, guys? You can eat it.
Let's hope that we can indeed go where no one gamer has gone before. This.
The thing I love most about Starfield
Ooh,
is
zero
that
gravity.
it is a Bethesda game through and through. It's really
Okay.
about going to strange new
But you
places,
keep saying that. Don't you realize what jokes that brings when you say that? It's a Bethesda game through and through.
Also, we got a glimpse at Space Egypt.
We were the only ones to leave Earth.
That DNA
So
is
it's
present
not
here.
so
It's
ancient
about random
Egypt
encounters, it's
in
about handcrafted
space.
quests, and it feels so cool to play it and just make your
So
own path
maybe
in
they
this
won't
universe.
be evil this time to
There
you?
are over 1,000 planets out there.
Sorry?
Just waiting for you to
What is
visit.
this said? We had a glimpse of Egypt, so it's not so
Okay, that's-
ancient Egypt in space.
Okay, that's a statement he just said, that we have over 1,000 planets. I'm not entirely confident that statement is true.
Usually, whenever I hear statements like that, it means, oh, we have like 1,000 potential randomized options or something.
Probably.
I think No Way Home. Sorry. I think No Man's Sky managed something similar to that, but it's on a very upon
Well, that's
release.
because the randomizer that it applies, it really randomizes everything. That's the reason, one of the reasons why the game was disaster last, because of a randomizer, objects were not rendered properly or they were clipping through the floor.
So it is technically possible, but how in depth all those worlds are will be up to see.
Into the real world with our collector's editions.
Ooh,
And
collector's
for this game,
editions.
Yeah, after
we've done a
76, you really
It
shouldn't
is the
trust collector's
Constellation
editions.
Explorer's Watch.
Are you
This
going
is
to
a
try
watch
and
that you
screw us
actually
again
get
with the
in
nylon
They even have the
bags?
equivalent to the
HUD,
Peep
where it's
Boy.
the compass and then environmental
Okay,
information.
that looks
It
good.
connects to your phone to give you notifications and other information, and we've also designed this really cool case that it comes with, Eastfun.
They're going to specifically avoid doing
Looks like
anything.
a launch box.
They're totally going to avoid doing another canvas bag. I feel
By
it.
the cases
I
attached
wonder.
used during the Apollo era to bring back samples from the moon. It's got an intricate locking mechanism.
Oh,
Plastic
fancy.
heavy, Comes with a Constellation patch, NATO strap, and the overall functionality.
Why not provide more room to actually make it a
would exist in
lunchbox?
the world, in the Starfield universe.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there. It even tells the time.
Fair.
Oh, that's right. There's still the.
So at least it's not like that watching Spy Kids 2 that they got from their uncle.
Amazing from the Xbox hardware team, and together we have created this custom limited edition
Custom
Starfield
controller,
controller.
sure.
It's awesome. It is now
Too
our
white.
favorite controller.
We love this because it's inspired by the actual controls.
Well,
of the
this doesn't
spaceship.
show
Not
dust,
only that,
so at least.
Actually, it would be the opposite. It collects it showcases more dust as it. Oh, well, the headset actually doesn't look too bad.
Now you can really feel like you're going to space, soldier.
Oh, that's right. There's still the Final Fantasy 16 stream later.
It is a nice design for the controller, I'll give him that.
Again, I like this headset, but it even apparently has a regulation for the volume, which is interesting, I guess.
Property of console.
Buy now for $49.99.
It's including the collectors, so you need to buy a lot more.
I'm guessing eventually they'll sell the controller and headset separately. What more do you have to show us?
In every one of our games, we always put so much care into all those little details that breathe life into our world.
Oh, so can we ride
But
it?
Starfield isn't just a Bethesda Game Studios world.
In what way,
it's a
Jova?
Bethesda Game Studios galaxy.
Mind out of the gutter, please, but
So
you
why could
know,
this be-
cowboy
Getting
style.
space STDs with that
Because we want to
mentality,
give you
believes.
freedom on a
I
galactic
mean, we already said earlier, can we fuck it?
Look, we don't need to repopulate every planet.
and the quiet ones.
And I'm pretty sure, based off of what was shown, we'll have our companions to do that anyway.
The available resources you can use for crafting, building, and customizing.
I think what's cool about this whole system that we generate the planet itself as a procedural content.
Oh, there you go.
The
They're talking about
handcrafted
that.
content itself comes as the player
Okay, so
explores.
basically, if I understood correctly, there's a mix
Our
of
system
randomly
builds a planet
generated
as the
stuff
player
and the
approaches it,
actual
and we
handcrafted
stitch together
stuff.
block of
That's
So maybe it's a
fine.
mix of the two.
After that,
I'm
we
guessing
have
the
a
idea is
system
that the
adds
key important
interesting
location will
locations
always
for the
be
player to
present, but
explore,
like for example,
features to
the way the
encounter,
planet looks and what kind of fauna
or
it is
plants
in,
to
I
pick up.
guess.
I wonder.
Allows us to add that
Do you
touch
think
of
that they'll also allow you to?
environmental
Oh,
storytelling that
Hi, Mr.
Bethesda is
Skeleton.
known for.
Mr. Bones, what have they done to
Aggressive
you?
creatures have been disrupting our
Took his
experiments.
clothes and
Their
everything.
habitat isn't far from here. If you could take care of them for us, we would be in your debt.
So even if your friends were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
Huh. It's like they're taking notes from all that went wrong with No Man's Sky and saying, yeah, let's
Well,
avoid
again,
that.
Ideally, this game has been conceptually, you know, in the mind of Todd since the 90s. Apparently, at
Sure.
some point, from what I read, apparently at some point Todd wanted to be an official Star Trek game since they had the license for a while. But unfortunately, we couldn't do it.
This does feel like the closest thing to all the whole kit and caboodle.
It's a
will you be
bit
playing this on
more-
Game Pass?
Maybe, but I'm guessing this is probably going to take up the whole entire storage space of my Series
Yeah, I guess
S,
the
so...
size of this thing is gonna be
want to
huge.
interact with each planet.
I do
So,
wonder.
if I get my hands on a Seagate expansion card in the future, then maybe.
I wonder if maybe they'll have an optimization system that has it that it preloads and then slightly puts away data for certain worlds and then reloads and puts them back for when you're there to
Well,
save
it doesn't matter,
space.
Joe. For a game like this, the size in terms of gigabytes is always the same. It's how the software, you know, internalizes stuff.
Get experience.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if they've developed a new system or something. I don't think we've heard the size of this game yet.
No, not yet.
When we were concepting these creatures, we really
Okay,
wanted to
that
think of them
looks
as
straight out of
natural to
Star
the
Wars.
environment. We didn't want alien monsters. We wanted native wildlife.
No, I remember this was
Something you've
apparently
never
originally going
seen
to be a Star
before.
Trek game.
Well, at some point.
When it comes to our exteriors, when the
Surprised we
sun
don't
moves,
yet have a Star
all that
Wars and
light
Star
is
Trek
calculated in
crossover.
real time through the atmosphere.
Like I said, Joe,
biggest
I
goal
don't
for
think
lighting
because
with
of their
Starfield
different
was to
thematics, I
make
don't
the
think the
game
two
feel
universes are
more
really
filmic,
compatible.
to
If
use
anything,
lighting
the comic
and
crossover
color
that they had, for example,
really
with
make it
Planet of
feel
the
more
Apes instead
cinematic.
fit much more.
Oh, very good. Sorry, they're explaining the way the lighting worked because they wanted to make them look more cinematic.
Everyone's favorite word.
You know, after a few days, the citizens of New York State can pretty much go without things looking cinematic, if you know what I mean.
After some exploring, you can find a spot to set up a base camp. Outposts can be
Oh,
placed
you can
anywhere
build
on
outposts.
any
I wonder if
planet.
you can actually make your own
And the habitat
civilization
modules
and
come in
city
all
on a
shapes and
planet.
sizes, filling all
I guess
different
it's more of a
purposes.
deal of a
You
place
can
of
even
operation,
live
as in you will
Assign
get
crew
like
and
a
companions
place
to
where
work
you
at your
can
outposts for
sleep,
added
because I'm
bonuses,
guessing there is a
and set
sleep
up
mechanic, or
extractors to harvest
get
resources
supplies
while
if
you're
you
away.
need them.
Again, I can see Let's Game It out having a field day with this.
Where you can toggle between on-foot building, or you can now use a top-down isometric camera, which helps plan out
Fair
larger
enough.
parts of the outpost and placing those larger habs. So that way you can really plan your
It
structures.
really
and
does
what
seem
the
like they
overall
spared
feel
no
of the outpost
expense
is.
with this
And then
one.
when you're on your feet, you can really
And now
decorate
you
and
can-
fine-tune
Well, they
things
have
much
access. Well,
easier.
they have access to all of Microsoft's funds, supposedly.
And NASA, and we even asked NASA for photographic references too. And again, Joe, remember, because of development of the main Bethesda studios going to this, the ones working on 76 was just as, you know,
True,
outsourced
yeah.
team.
Yeah.
I will mention something though. While I do commend them for being super confident in this game to show this much, I also think that probably would have been better to maybe streamline the Starfield Direct to like a half hour, 25 minutes, so you can also throw in actual more gameplay stuff from the other first-party games.
All you stealth players out there will surely need a suppressor.
Okay, part of me wonders if that had any effect on things, because for all we know, like, Bethesda were just the guys, directing the Direct in that regard, and the other Direct, the Xbox Showcase, might have been completely out of their hands. Part of me gets the feeling that the length of this Direct had no bearing on the length of the Xbox Showcase. At least that's just my opinion on things.
The animations are more
I don't think one is dependent on the other or anything.
It just feels great.
We probably have more mods and more weapons.
Once again, you can enjoy the fine fidelity of our finest firearms, rendered
The
in
mechanics
digital
of building
format.
your own personal firearm like this has been borrowed from Fallout 4, obviously, expanded for the sci-fi setting.
Can you do something like in the first Terminator where you get the guns but then you just shoot the cashier guy?
I don't think so.
You can't do that. Wrong.
Sometimes you'll even feel like you're flying.
Whee!
I don't want to feel like I'm flying when I'm playing a game like this.
Zero-gravity environments pose a different challenge. Firing a ballistic weapon in zero-G will actually push you back.
Wow, they really did study on the physics of zero-gravity environments.
Stable shooting experience.
We also have mag weapons. These are high-powered electromagnetic induction ballistic arrays. Each barrel has its own targeting laser and can dish out some serious damage.
Ouch.
Yeah, but again, I can imagine consumes ammo like, yeah.
If you want to get up close and personal with your own two fists.
Oh, cool. Close quarters combat.
Punch the alien wildlife into submission.
Hey, look, if Batman can punch out a shark, you can punch out these alien demonic creatures.
Starfield's got you covered.
Does it?
Alright.
Also, you're Bethesda. You're technically owning ID Software and its properties. Where's the BFG? I want the BFG.
Yeah, actually, it's in space too. Give us the BFG. Unless it turns out the twist is that this actually was a prequel to Doom.
Doesn't make too much sense because even in the new setting, the Earth has not really colonized anything besides Mars.
Maybe Doom was a prequel to this all along. I get the feeling we're nearing the end of the Direct. This feels like montage territory.
It's more showcasing the weapons we just talked about.
Oh? You have force abilities?
Of course you have magical powers too.
Thanks again.
Okay, you're just gonna drop that anvil and not explain much about that?
Todd,
I know there was probably a lot to take
what
in.
is wrong with you? Stop tending.
You know, as we play it, we're always sharing these unique and special moments.
By the way, did you know that every copy of this will come packaged with Skyrim? So you will be in effect buying Skyrim?
This game is a reflection of the incredible and passionate team that made it. All of them putting something special of themselves
Truly
into
a weapon to surpass Metal
let's hear
Gear.
some of their favorite moments.
Wasn't the X on their sleeves? It makes it look like.
Because the Xbox brand.
It's the Xbox logo.
Has come together to create
You have to show that we're owned by Xbox now.
we've ever had in any of our games.
I love the creatures, the exploration, every biome is different. The word that comes to mind is vast.
But again,
I like
can
to
we
use our
ride
photo mode
them?
to take rockstar photos.
Of course you can take pictures.
I just love that constant feel of discovery and wow, I can't believe that there's more here.
I'm most excited about our outpost building systems.
My favorite part is every time you step out on a planet, it's a unique experience.
So you could go to either the Fortress of Solitude or the Gallifrey, the city in Gallifrey.
So I know we can design them from the outside, but can we also design the internals of our ships?
I don't know. I don't think so.
My favorite part is biomes, spaceships,
Audio design,
planets, the day-night cycle. Those details matter to me. Diplomacy, exploration, freedom, the ending.
Oh, the ending.
I love the robot so much.
The incredible amount of worlds.
I mean, a game like this would
Sniper
still
rifles,
be.
come on. Lever action, rocket launcher,
brain sprout.
I wonder.
I laugh, but some people might find creepy. I don't know. I know it's right, Ben.
But ending all sorts with me.
The thing that I enjoy
I
most
wonder.
about the game is the freedom to be who you want to be, do what you want to do.
Even go beach.
It's what you've come to expect from a Bethesda title, but on a much bigger scale.
So we're gonna glitch out from as soon as we press the A button to begin the game.
All of us, we can't wait for you to play Starfield and make your own special
Like,
moments.
I won't lie. It is going to be immensely sad if this does follow Bethesda's usual pattern, because this is definitely their most promising looking game in years. Starfield.
Again, take the T and the L.
There we go.
9 of
The
June.
9th of June.
Buddy, that's
We've
already
gone past
happened.
that.
Don't you see? It was in the past. It was time travel. You went
No,
too.
Drummer, we have the cockwork game that does that.
Of course, steel.
But yeah, it actually means like the 6th of September. There you go. Why do I do that the first time? With the American dating system.
So, final closing montage, I'm guessing.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay. You know, I think. Okay, yeah. If I were to count this all as one thing, the Starfield Direct was easily the best thing, but that might be kind of cheating since, well, yeah, no duh, that was the thing with the most stuff shown. But I will say this, that consequently, Starfield is the thing that has me the most hype from this whole show, overall.
Yeah.
Can I go first to final thoughts?
Go ahead.
Just the ending. Yeah, overall, I was really surprised by this direct, and it's actually a pretty pleasant way. The pace was high. The variety in games was, I think, about as good as the one from PlayStation. I especially loved those announcements of the Atlas stuff. I've been interested in getting into the now the Like a Dragon series, and I just realised that my PlayStation, since I'm going to be PlayStation Plus account to the top tier, since we have that sale on at the minute, I was able to just basically get almost all the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. So I'm interested in seeing getting into those, and I'm also interested in seeing how the newer ones turn out. Yeah, the highlights for me were all from Sega, to an extent. So yeah, although the rest of them still looks pretty good as well. I'm looking forward also to the new flight simulator because of the sheer variety of vehicles that you can use. You can use a hot air balloon.
Yep.
That's what I think it does show. It shows Asobo Studio definitely have a lot of range as developers. They can go from making games about flying things to games about death, and back to flying games again.
Good for them.
And remember this, before they were working on Plague Tale and Flight Simulator, they were known as another Disney tie-in video game studio. They made the PSP and PS2 versions of WALL-E, as well as Toy Story 3, PS2 and PSP. I mean, so quite. They've come a long way, clearly.
And as for the Starfield Direct, it's very detailed. I'll say that much. I couldn't possibly keep up with all of it, but you know, hey, at least it's good detail, and it looks promising enough. Just as long as what we see is actually what we get.
Yeah, that's what I'm more concerned about.
But yeah, overall, like I said, it's all a pretty fun and entertaining direct, and I'm looking forward to see what the rest of not E3 has to offer.
Okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to separate the two for the sake of convenience. Starfield, let's get the Starfield Direct out of the way right now. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting, pretty impressive, and pretty compelling. I like the idea of basically exploring an entire galaxy like the way that they've portrayed here. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I would go out of my way to buy a Series X specifically for this game. At least not yet. But yeah, like if the game does indeed deliver on all of its promises, which reminder, it has to, because right now both Bethesda and Microsoft really desperately need a big W right now. Hopefully it will, because that's my concern. I am concerned that this we have a saying over here in my country. Okay, usually when we see, the usual thing where there's a homeless bum, asking for money from any passing people, and someone will throw it into their hat, that kind of shit, right? We have a saying in my country about that, where if the offering is absurdly high, the bum will start acting suspicious. This is too good to be true. There must be something. There must be a catch to this. And that's where I'm at right now. This looks amazing, but it sounds like it's too amazing. It sounds like there probably is a catch to this.
Alright, I found in the meantime, since we were not mentioning, I checked instead the prerequisite for a PC release. This is waiting 125 gigabytes.
Wait,
yeah,
125?
Yeah,
125 gigabytes. Yeah, that's huge.
I'll admit, I kind of thought it was going to be even more.
I'm actually waiting to see how much in size Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be, considering it has two 4K Blu-rays.
Right now, 100 is usually the standard when people say, "Oh, it's already a lot." So 125 for the time being is a lot. If things are continue to escalate, this is gonna be small potatoes in just a few years.
Oh yeah, the reason I thought it was more is, again, the fact that you can do all this with the graphics looking as good as they do
already. The rest
already.
of the prerequisites are still very high, in like 16 gigabytes of RAM to begin with.
Thankfully, my current gaming laptop should be able to easily handle this. My only issue is the amount of space it takes up.
I'm not. I'm not really. My computer cannot handle a game on the scale of the Series X and the PS5. So, I'll probably just, if I ever get this, I'll have to get a Series X for it. So, but again, I'll wait and see how things go, because I definitely want to see what actual people say about this game outside of Bethesda.
Yeah.
But that being said, Starfield is of course the highlight. I can see why they decided to dedicate an entire direct to this thing.
We'll have to see if it's worth that $70 price point, because it's one of the games going for that.
So yeah, the Starfield Direct, looks great. I just hope it is indeed great, because as people keep telling me, you should always be cautious with Bethesda. So I will be cautious. Setting the Starfield Direct aside, like Senpai from Nagatoro would say, the Xbox showcase itself, it's fine. It showed a good amount of games, and like I said, much like with Dwibs, to me the highlight is some of the Atlas, particularly Metaphor. Because I love all three games that were made by this team so far, Persona 3, 4, and 5. And so I'm definitely excited for whatever the Ashino has for us next. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That will be my thing. In the meantime, I have been looking into things, and I've just realized something while on the topic of Atlas. Apparently, Persona 3 Reload is going to be a remake that's going to be using the original PS2 release as its base, rather than any of the stuff that was added in the re-releases, which is disappointing to me. I guess I'll just stick to my PS2 Fez version then. Okay.
I wonder if eventually they're going to reveal something that actually does go, no, wait, this actually is the legit definitive version. Like, it seems like they're getting new voice actors on this stuff as well, so maybe...
Yeah, I was about to mention, they're apparently changing also a bit of a voice cast. Like, the main protagonist is voiced by Alex Lee now.
Yeah.
I will say this,
I guess we'll see.
I think there's a possibility they could add in new story bits here and there, so this might somehow be made to be the definitive version, as opposed to, just being...
The original version of Persona 3 is still great. It's not like that's necessarily a problem. I just really wish we could have a version of Persona 3 that's widely available, that has all the content we've had so far in one tight-knit package.
Weren't we supposed to be getting that anyway on, like, the Switch? Like, Persona 5 was the first to come to Switch, then...
The version of Persona 3 that was recently released on all systems is Persona 3 Portable, the PSP version. And that version is really good, don't get me wrong, but it did remove some content from the FES version, which is... Okay, let me put it this way, Joe. The original Persona 3 had a final mix version, to put it in Kingdom Hearts terms, and the content of that final mix version is still exclusive to that PS2 final mix version still to this day.
Weird.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make. That being said, I'll still keep an eye on Persona 3 Reload to see how it turns out. So, Persona 5 Tactica. Yeah, it looks like it will be cute. Not my kind of thing necessarily. Usually when it comes to tactical RPGs, if it doesn't have Matsuno involved, I usually skip it. That being said, it looks good for what it is. So that's fine. Oh, the Star Wars Outlaws thing. I have no fucking clue what that game specifically... considering it's Star Wars, I'm assuming there's going to be space battles and probably lightsaber stuff.
It's centered around, the protagonist seems to be centered around an outlaw, kind of like Han Solo, so probably mostly gunplay.
Remind me, was Outlaws the Ubisoft game where they confirmed gameplay coming up in the Ubisoft Forward, or was that a different Ubisoft
game? You're right, I forgot about that.
Enough,
yeah, you're right, I forgot about that. Sure, okay. I'll give that one a pass then.
Hellblade 2?
What about Hellblade 2?
What about Hellblade 2? Yeah, exactly.
Well,
this game has been in development. Okay, it was announced in December 2019, but obviously it started development before that. So we can basically assume that this game has been in development for at the very least 4 years now.
Even if you want to be generous and cut at least 1 year because of a pandemic, it's still quite a bit.
Like, unless they have new footage to show at the extended showcase, they don't have proper gameplay, it seems.
Fine. How about this? Even if it is 3 years, let's cut down a year and be generous. 3 years of development. It's not like this is a new IP. This is a sequel to a game. This game already has a foundation from the first game. So it's not like they had to construct this entire thing from the ground up. No, they're basing this is a sequel to an already existing game. So obviously it doesn't take as much work as creating an IP from scratch.
I know reception was initially mixed to the first game, but surely it's not so bad that they can't just, tidy up the gameplay to improve it for the sequel.
Oh, sure. The thing is that, again, I don't want to go into talk about the first game. That's
I know we'll eventually do that for a commentary.
I can run it at. I have yet to try see if it works well on my PC. But even if it doesn't, I can still record it at 60 FPS on the PS5, so it should be fine. The point is, this thing has been developed for 3 years, and it's not a new IP. It's a sequel. The fact that they still are not showing gameplay from this thing, I'm sorry. At this point, it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. This thing, we should have seen how this game plays a long time ago at this point. It makes no sense for this thing to still be showing us just cutscene footage. Hell, like we've said before, like I kind of fell for the whole gameplay thing in 2021, but Taylor just helped me find out that that's not the case at all. So at this point, it's just like we got to see her walk forward a bit.
Yeah.
And then the cutscene.
They focus more on the psychedelic surreal aspect of the
Which is fine, but we've seen that. How about you show us what the combat is like now?
Or are you telling me that you actually remove the combat and it's mostly about the psychological stuff?
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that personally, but yes, objectively it would be a downgrade because, yeah, I'm guessing it was. I mean, isn't Ninja Theory's thing, hack and slashes anyway? So I'm pretty sure they kept the combat to some extent at least. So no, Hellblade 2. I'm sorry, the fact that they're still not showing gameplay for this thing is inexcusable. Yeah, Hellblade 2. Guys, show me the fucking gameplay. Next time, I'm not even kidding you. If Microsoft dares to come on stage again and show Hellblade 2 and do this shit again, I will not hold back on anything I say because this is starting to get ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This thing not showing gameplay to this, no, it's inexcusable. I'm sorry. Fable. As someone who's now it's my turn. I never played Fable before, so all I can see again. You have to understand. Yes, Jove and Tail have experience with Fable, so they of course have a better. They were probably able to interpret the trailer a lot better than me. So I will give you the Fable newcomer perspective on this trailer.
Go on.
I'm still not entirely certain if this game is an RPG that I'm going to be into because. While I do think we saw some minor bits of proper gameplay here and there in between all the stuff that happens in that trailer, I couldn't really grasp how exactly does this RPG play? Is it turn-based? Is it action-based? I mean, from what I can tell, the original Fables were action-based and stuff. So
the gimmick is that because Peter Molyneux had an interesting way of designing a game. Your Xbox controller uses 3 of the right side color button for a different type of mechanic. Blue for melee, yellow for ranged, which starts with bows but then later becomes guns, and red for magic, which on paper is actually pretty neat, But later on, especially in Fable 3, it becomes essentially just almost a shooter, kind of like the Harry Potter games, because magic and range are so overpowered anyway.
Okay, like I said, as someone who has little to no knowledge about Fable, aside from I saw Kim Justice's Peter Molyneux retrospective, so I have a somewhat basic idea of what those games are like. I'll play the first one at some point, see how it is. I'm not entirely certain how this game is about. Okay, I get that it's going to be very comedic in tone, not exactly. Not exactly finding any of these jokes funny so far, but it's still too early to brush off the entire script for now. I just wish I could have seen a proper demonstration of what kind of gameplay is going to be in this game because I couldn't really grasp it. It was mostly just cutscene stuff, and since I have no experience with the previous games, I don't really know exactly what this RPG is going to be like gameplay-wise. I mean, is it going to be open world? Is it going to be more like Final Fantasy 16? Is it going to be more on the linear side? What? Is it going to be are you going to have a lot of towns, or are you going to have one major hub town surrounded by areas? I don't really know what this game is like still. So, and considering this game, we've known about this game thanks to leaks since 2019. Yeah, what the fuck is going on? Why are we still not seeing any gameplay from this thing?
Your guess is as good as mine.
See, it's a similar thing. It's a similar thing that problem I had with the PlayStation Showcase, where the first party showings were left a lot to be desired. Although I'll give credit that at the very least Sony had the decency of ending on 10 glorious minutes of Spider-Man 2. I genuinely believe one of these games should have given a similar treatment.
I'm guessing that's what they opted for Starfield's Direct to be.
Probably.
I guess, but like you guys said, Starfield Direct is a separate Direct from the Xbox Showcase.
Okay. Let's be fair. They coupled it together with Xbox Showcase, and they did title the video as Xbox Showcase plus Starfield Direct. And the bit after the Starfield Direct, I believe, did once again show a montage of all the stuff shown in the Xbox Showcase. So, while they can be considered separate ones, my guess is that Xbox themselves considers it all part of the show. It's more so just
That's
hey,
cool.
if you're not interested with Starfield, you can jump off at this point because we're about to spend a little under an hour on this game.
Because, the other first-party showings, not really. Also, where the hell is Overwild? This thing has been in development, was announced 4 years ago.
Everwild.
Yeah, more like Neverwild, yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it's just like, what the hell is Rare doing? Like, I mean, they haven't been good in ages. I get that, but still, like, even by post Nintendo Rare, this is starting to become a concern. Like, is Sea of Thieves the only thing we're gonna get from them anymore? I don't. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that Everwild. We have yet to see exactly what the hell this game even is.
Pedro, I found an article from June 2nd on Everwild, and what it says about the gameplay is it's difficult to infer what the gameplay of Everwild will be from this trailer. So yeah, June 2nd, and we still do not know. Well, honestly,
God damn it, Rare.
I wonder if Rare are just really that stuck with Sea of Thieves, which, don't get me wrong, good job turning the ship around with Sea of Thieves, although that was kind of a No Man's Sky situation where that game started off crap, but thankfully, they retooled it into getting better.
I love what it says here, a game from the team behind Sea of Thieves and Banjo-Kazooie, even though only one of the major people from Banjo-Kazooie is still at the company to this day. But whatever.
Alas.
But the point is, Everwild is once again missing in action, and what the fuck? If you can't figure it out, just cancel the bloody game and finally make Banjo free. Yeah. What else? What else? First party? Because see, the thing about these games is that the reason I'm talking about so much about this is because in my opinion at least, the main reason why you tune into these Xbox or PlayStation showcases is so you can see what the actual PlayStation first-party studios and what the Xbox first-party studios have in store. I mean, we can also learn about the third-party stuff, but in my opinion, the first-party stuff should be the main attraction. And I'm getting a bit tired of every single Xbox showcase I watch. It's always the third parties who are doing a better job of showcasing their shit than Microsoft themselves. Shouldn't be the other way around. I mean, again, Starfield is literally carrying this thing so hard. Starfield single-handedly is carrying this entire showcase on its back, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, yes, the Persona stuff and the Metaphor stuff, that would look really cool. But it's third-party stuff. We could have learned about that thing in a million different ways. In my opinion, the main attraction to an Xbox showcase should be the actual Xbox games. But that's just me. The same thing with Nintendo Direct. I said the same thing with Nintendo Direct. There was one, I forgot which one it was. There was also a Nintendo Direct that we commented, I think it was like last year, where I did make a complaint that there was a lot more interesting stuff on the third-party stuff, but Nintendo themselves didn't really have much of anything to show themselves on that Direct, even though it was like a 40-minute Direct. For the same reason, I tuned into Nintendo Directs to see what Nintendo has in store for us next. So yeah, I'm getting a bit tired of these Xbox showcases being so coy with their first-party lineup. Again, Starfield aside, because again, Starfield is like the one major thing holding this thing afloat for me in terms of its. But yeah, that being said, yes, it's fine. Objectively speaking, this is a perfectly fine and perfectly serviceable showcase that was enjoyable. It's just that I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted great first-party games that actually, turn things around for Xbox. That's what I wanted. And once again, I didn't get it. Again, Starfield aside, the Starfield is the one major thing. That being said, yeah, objectively speaking, it's a perfectly fine showcase. It was good. Not great, but good. That's it. I'm done.
All right, I'll go next. Yeah, I feel like this was a fine enough showcase. It definitely excelled best with the Starfield Direct at the end. Like, they did a very good showing. It looks great. It looks promising. The only problem is it's being released by Bethesda. And to paraphrase the Steven Universe movie, that's right, I've heard the story over and over again. Again, hopefully, Bethesda have absolutely learned their lessons, and this will be good. We won't have the unbelievable army of bugs and poor polishing on this game, and hopefully it'll turn out to be great. But what about the show as a whole? First off, we started with the Fable reboot, or Fable 4, whatever. Now, Richard is funny and nice. It's a shame that it kind of implies that he'll be dead, though. Goddamn. That being said, the overall tone of the trailer is... Okay, comedy was never, not to say comedy was never a factor in Fable, but this feels like they might be overdoing it. I assume the woman is supposed to be our main protagonist. Not really feeling
Maybe
her.
Representation. It really depends. The previous games did have a pre-standard for either male or female, but I get the idea these either might have a character creator or other presets, and this was just a proof of concept of what the character might look like.
It would be weird if in the reboot they suddenly set you with an absolute character. Again, though, don't get me wrong, I get that Fable definitely needed some fixing after Fable 3 apparently screwed things up bad, but again, I hope they just don't go too much in one other direction.
One thing that I am concerned about particularly is, based on what we've seen from insiders, apparently Playground Games was, remember this was before Microsoft bought them even, they were pitching for various publishers for an open world RPG. And what happened with Microsoft is Microsoft turned to them and said, okay, if you make it Fable, we'll do it. So this was originally an idea for a new open world RPG IP that got turned into Fable because that was the way Playground got to finally get this project off the ground. So I'm generally wondering if this is just going to be Fable in name only, because yeah, it's clear that they're stuck with the Fable IP in order to get this thing done.
I can tell you that in terms of having iconic characters, type of monsters and everything, the Fable franchise doesn't have too much to make it that personal. So there's a lot of leeway they can get away with.
So that was the Fable game. South of the Midnight looks like it'll have a good and interesting art style. Shame I don't know what the gameplay is. I mean...
You talking about what specifically now?
South of the Midnight. The one that looks like it's set in New Orleans.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that game.
The articles contains the Steam page description, so I can tell you that.
Go ahead.
The creators of Contrast and We Happy Few, South of Midnight is a spellbinding third-person action-adventure game set in the American Deep South. As Hazel, the girl that we saw, you will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a macabre fantastical world. When a disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bones and spirits. Imbued with these new abilities, Hazel will confront and subdue dangerous creatures, untangle the webs of her own family's shared past, and, if she's lucky, find her way to a place that feels like home. So again, third-person action-adventure with a component of taming monsters.
That sounds interesting. Why am I learning this through a press release after the fact rather than
it's
the actual...
It's not even a press release page, it's a Steam page description.
Well, okay. Regardless, why am I learning this via that description thingy rather than the actual trailer itself? I mean, I'm sorry, it's just like...
It does feel weird. Okay, the description implies that they do know what the gameplay is, so the question is, why didn't they show it to us? But anyway, in contrast, Star Wars Outlaws, while it did not show gameplay here, it at least did assure us we're going to see gameplay at the Ubisoft Forward, so at the very least, we know we're getting that. It looks like it could be pretty good for a Star Wars open world venture. Next up was 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus Games. It looks interesting, didn't really seem to be my thing. Payday free, it looks like another Payday game, so good for Payday fans. Which, you know what, that's what a sequel should do. And then, Persona 3 Reload. Yeah, again, Microsoft are probably going to be angry. Okay. in a timeline where this had not been as heavily leaked as it was, this probably would have been like one of the great big announcements that would have made this show more exciting. So I'm going to give Microsoft some benefits that, yes, they had a good idea trying to get the debut announcements on them, which has been their ploy for a lot of shows here, where, yes, some of their stuff is multi-plat, but they get the debut showing of it, which can do a company a lot of favors in the stocks, you'd be amazed. Unfortunately, the leak said, yeah, no. That said, Persona 3 Remake, goody. Next up was Avowed. It doesn't look like my style of game, but it looks like Obsidian, as usual, know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Can you just give me a couple minutes? Avowed. It looks fine. I'm not into first-person RPGs, but it looks fine if that's your thing.
Sure. Next up, Sea of Thieves. Again, Sea of Thieves is a game that I have really come around on. Of course, let me make it clear, I only came around on that game after it went to rehab, because, again, let us never forget the terrible state that game was in at the start. And yet now it's the premier place to get pirate collaborations. So yeah, Sea of Thieves, it has become one of Microsoft's bastions of quality. What a redemption arc. Again, time to go in contrast mode though, Hellblade 2. Or as I know it, the antithesis to a heavenly sword. Like, okay, look. I know I've dunked on Ninja Fury a lot. I try to be fair each time, but I do it to ask, what have Ninja Fury been up to? Like, okay, Rare with Everwild, we can at least say they're busy with Sea of Thieves, but last I checked, Ninja Fury don't exactly have anything else going on aside from Hellblade 2, so...
No, Bleeding Edge came out and died immediately.
So, question though, where's the gameplay? Legit.
Yeah.
Where is the gameplay? Okay, yes, and I know some will say, well, technically the gameplay was us walking. Yes, I'm sure walking will be the high selling point of Hellblade 2.
Okay, to be fair, there is quite a lot of... Okay, see, the thing is about... Okay, let me give you a basic rundown. While there is combat in Hellblade 1, it's mostly just boss battle stuff. Like, most of the time in Hellblade 1, you're just walking and solving puzzles.
Really? Not what I would expect from a game called Hellblade, I'll admit.
How about this, guys? If you don't want to show a boss battle, because I guess spoiler reasons maybe, show her solving a puzzle. Show me if you've gotten your puzzle design better than you got in the first game.
Again, like I said, I'm somebody who's not even a Hellblade fan. And again, from what I know, the first Hellblade was mixed as it were, so they should be trying everything in their power to double down on what fans of it would like to hopefully have Hellblade 2 be a runaway success, but again, unless there's a selling point in just the walking and the cutscene, that was a poor showing from Hellblade 2. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
No, Joe, Attacken was not in this.
Oh, but Like a Dragon was. Okay, so how did we go from Kiryu looking as awesome as he is to suddenly the new guy nude on an American beach? I have so many questions, good and well done. It is a bit of a shame that we didn't get the gameplay, but like you guys mentioned, there's that other showcase which could very much show this. And also, like guys, and to give it credit, this is literally the game's very, very, very first showing. And if it's anything like most of the series, we at least have probably a good idea of what the gameplay will be like. Question. Were there any drastic changes to the gameplay with this newer protagonist?
Yes, the series passed from being an actual beat 'em up, to being an actual, believe it or not, a turn-based RPG.
Wow.
I know it sounds weird saying like that, but yes, this is actually real. And he somehow manages to work. But yes, it's also mentioned in the article that more information will be announced at the Ryuga Gotoku Summit Summer 2023 on June 15.
So I'm guessing in regards to the games with this protagonist, they're going to keep the turn-based stuff, whereas with The Kiryu games.
Well, not just Kiryu, Java. Well, for the man who erased his name is mostly an exception because he's supposed to transition Kiryu from the older games to the new one for his appearance in the 8th game. But remember, Judgment has taken over as the series with the beat 'em up because he specifically mentioned that going forward they want to have the games with Ichiban keeping the RPG elements instead.
Huh, wonder why there was a massive shift.
No idea.
Anyway,
you have to remember that the series creator has departed Sega at this point.
So next up was Forza Motorsport. Once again, I'm sure Forza will continue to be financially viable, so long as Microsoft don't screw it up. And like, screwing up Forza, that's something you have to physically try to do. So Forza Motorsport looks like it's going to be good. Overwatch 2, ignoring all the many elephants in the room, it looks fine, I guess. Again, it's hard for me to really get excited for Overwatch 2 with all the mess going on. Next up, though, Persona 5 Tactica. Looks like it'll be good. And again, it seems to really be solidifying that, unlike previous ventures, no, Royal is not the definitive story. They are sticking with base Persona 5 as the story, in regards to what the spin-offs like Strikers and now Tactica are going on. Apparently, Akechi and Kasumi might be DLC for the game, but yeah, not part of the narrative, apparently. Then we see yet another game being released by Don't Nod. Holy crap. Something called Jusant, which, yes.
It's very clearly inspired by
Fumito Ueda.
Specifically Eco. Like, it gives off a very Eco vibe.
Yeah, the climbing definitely reminded me a lot of what you see in Shadow of the Colossus, and as well as some puzzle platforming action, too.
Mm-hmm.
Next up was The Still Wakes Deep, or Deep Still Wakes the, or Still Wakes the Deep.
Stir, weep, weep, stir.
We didn't get to see much from it, but again, for people who are into that type of game, I'm sure it'll be fine. We got to see the return of Keanu Reeves. And yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, I guess CD Projekt Red are working to pull their reputation out of the toilets. Kudos. City Skylines 2. That was one of the most dramatic ways to introduce a city builder simulator. But it is what it advertises. Next up was Metaphor, a game that I legit thought was going to be another Persona and Fire Emblem crossover from the looks of it. I swear, I even mistook the blue-haired protagonist for the guy from Persona 3. That being said, it looks like it'll be interesting. Next up was Towerborn, which, yeah, from the guys who made the Banner Saga trilogy. It looks like an interesting and promising experience. Which, yeah, I believe brings us to Le Grand Finale, the Starfield Direct. Again, incredibly expansive, well detailed, it legit looks fun, and the character dynamics look on point. Again, if Bethesda play their cards right, this will be their best game. But again, there is just that one nagging doubt that Bethesda might just find a way to screw this up. Because, hey, people were excited for Fallout 76, and we know how that ended up. That being said, this is actually their main team. They've been working on this for years to this point.
25 years, apparently. Technically, this conception, idea, Todd's idea, this back to the 90s, so yeah, 25 years.
Over 2 decades. Jesus.
And physically, the development started in 2015 after Fallout 4, so...
And even still, that's close to a decade when it comes to the actual development. So again, they can't screw this one up, because there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah, if this game doesn't deliver...
I'm expecting a lot of firing, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, again, Starfield is your champion here, both Microsoft and Bethesda. Do not screw this up. So yeah, that being said, this was an Xbox showcase that justified its own existence. So kudos, guys. Could have been better, but it could have been much worse, and I'll admit there were some parts that legit did get me pretty stoked. So, yeah. Tio, end us with your final thoughts.
Alright, no, this was okay. I technically prefer the Summer Game Fest over this, but this had still something that I was relatively interested into. The Fable reboot, like I said, I don't think they're gonna screw that much of the gameplay because, again, judging from the trailer, they seem to be keeping the same thing. So worse than Fable 3 it really cannot be. I'm not really digging the humor, but I'm sorry. Like the original trilogy was not devoid of humor. The entire opening of 3 is about the perspective of a chicken that flies through, through the city, and you get an excuse to see what it's like with the comedy of the chicken being stupid and almost getting killed. But it wasn't emphasizing this much. And remember, the first teaser also has this kind of thing with the fairy being, aggressively, ate up by the frog, if you recall.
Yep.
So I really hope they don't want to transform this into essentially an SNL kind of skit more than anything. We'll have to see how this goes. But again, I don't really have too much of a doubt of this going on. South of Midnight has the potential to be interesting in terms of aesthetic. We'll just have to see where this goes. The Outlaws games, we'll have to see where at the Ubisoft showcases. 33 Mortals. Again, I have experience with at least the Autumn, if not also for the other games that it is Sundered, which is kind of a Metroidvania instead with Cthulhu Mythos. So this team is actually interesting in what they do. What I do know is that the quality of the 2D sprites, the hand-drawn stuff, comes at the cost of them really have to overwork themselves. So I really hope they don't, stress too much over the game development, because previously they did that. Jotun was a Kickstarter funded campaign, but they still had to work their asses to draw every single frame of animation. It wasn't as easy as instead what Stoic did for Banner Saga. This was actually much more complex as a work. So again, I really hoping they're having their work cut out easier for this one. Payday 3 looks okay. Like, again, I'm not particularly caring to play myself, but again, it doesn't look too much different from 2. So again, just a way for, to be played on modern system, especially because this is multi-plat also for PS5, as I'm reading here. So it's not just for Xbox and PC. Find interesting trivia if you forgot, because it was present in the first trailer lineup. Payday 2 was available for the Switch also, but it was delisted after a while because not many people cared. Anyway, one game that the others haven't talked about before I go to the next is the new Capcom IP.
Right,
the
yeah.
successor to Onimusha. It does look interesting. Capcom is having a showcase on its own tomorrow over in Ubisoft, so we'll see how that goes even for that. So I'm expecting, I guess, we're gonna be talking about that mostly. I just hoping they also talk about Pragmata, because everything has been already delayed to this year, but we haven't seen anything, So either they're gonna delay it again, or finally we're having to see something about it.
Avowed.
The new game from Obsidian. It does look straightforward. Obsidian has a good reputation in solid development for its games, so I'm not too preoccupied about this. The crossover between Sea of Thieves and Monkey Island also looks interesting on its own. Again, it's cool also that they brought back all the voice actors that they could get also from the new game that was done. So that's cool. Hellblade continues to be kind of a sore spot because they still refuse to showcase proper gameplay, and much like the others, I don't understand why. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, again, we'll have to see where it goes also from the Yuga Gotoku Studios, showcase. Forza Motorsport, it's a Forza game, cool, moving on. Jusant, climbing simulator. It's fine from what they showcased. Just the main character's eyes. This is one case where the dot eyes, the Layton style dot eyes, do not work for this character design. I really wish like there was like a mask or something to cover it. Like it's climbing, pull one of those, lane covered mask that serves for climbing for this kind of purpose. I'm sorry. Apologies because the team is probably proud of making this character design, but it's really not appealing to me. Still Wakes the Deep. It looks like again a clone of stuff like Monstrum or Amnesia or Soma, so first person type of thriller horror where you have to carefully see the environment in order to move around. So I know already what has to be expected from that. Dungeons of Hindenburg. The art style is fine for the cell shade, but I noticed the overabundance of purple, and I think it was a bit too much on that front. Cyberpunk 2077 expansion. Again, now that the game has exited a bit its turbulent initials one time, it has the chance to, being actually more interesting to say, but I will probably check it out only way later down the line if it's, on discount or something when my PC is better anyway. City Skylines 2, if you like, much like with Price Simulator, we showcased beforehand, if you like, city builders, this one's for you. Cool. The new game done by Stoic, it looks like a decent beat 'em up, but admittedly, I'm kind of bit jarring the fact that they're going instead for a 3D style after going for the 2D. I get the idea it might be for the case of easing things up, like we did like instead of going into the problem that instead went potentially were we going for Thunder Lotus, but still, again, I'm confident the kind of game will be fine. Clockwork Revolution. It does look interesting. A good solid Bioshock Infinite clone. It's just a matter of it's ready when it's ready. So for all we know, it's gonna be available in 2025. So nothing to be interesting going about. But it did show gameplay. But again, it is a first-person shooter, so there is not too much. It's not too much of a brainer. Now, before I go to Starfield, the Atlus stuff. The Persona 3 remake, it does look impressive, but I do question the presence of it, if I had to be honest. Sure, I did check, they recasted the entire playable cast, not just one or two characters, and to be fair, one of them originally was voiced by Big Pignona, so I get the idea why they will do that. But I don't know. I think Atlus really at this point should just prioritize, re-releasing other parts of its old catalog, like Persona 1 and 2,
Yeah.
or the other SMT spin-offs like the Raido Kuzunoa duology, for example. Or you bother to made a sequel to Soul Hackers, but you didn't imported the first Devil Summoner or the first Soul Hackers instead. Maybe you should do that. Just saying, Like again, there are rumors floating around that ports of Shin Megami Tensei 4, its direct sequel Apocalypse, and 5 are supposed to come out on PC and PlayStation at some time in the future. But I don't know. Even sure, it would be a good step in the right direction. But again, I do believe this remake is really unnecessary at its core. I know that there's a problem of distribution of content between versions, but I still believe the portable version is still perfectly fine to be played on its own, especially because it is also the one with the teaser for Catherine. So I always got the idea that it was the definitive version. Mind you, apparently this remake is is ignoring completely all of it's only basing itself on the vanilla version. I don't even know why. Anyway, the tactical game for Persona 5, just like Shadow of a Labyrinth, I'm pretty sure it's nice to see diversifying gameplay, but I really wish this was applied to either an original stuff, like a new entire spin-off, or something else, because just applying the Persona 5 cast on this feels lazy and just again milking for the sake of a popularity, which I'm not really a fan of. It's like all weird games like what is called there was a game that was a battle royale that was the hot thing before Fortnite showed up. I already forgot its title, and recently it had a Nier Automata crossover event, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? What's the purpose? Because it's popular? Because 2P is popular? Don't do that shit. Like, again, it's probably the game itself is gonna be fine, but I cannot really be considered a a fan of these practices. I hope there's one diversification again. Doing Soul Hackers 2 was also a good step in the right direction. It's just a matter of diversifying at the very least. Speaking of which, finally the new RPG that the Project Re Fantasy that they had in work for a long while, finally with its title Metaphor Re Fantazio. Again, it's solid as any RPG made by Atlus, but the initial concept really fooled me that they were hopefully having only a resemblance of the art style from the Persona series, and instead, while its gameplay will still be retained turn-based, the interface and everything will still be different, but nope, they're doing the exact same thing, and it kind of really feels a bit jarring, considering the more fantasy art, type of setting that they want to do. I don't know. For something that's supposed to be different, I really wish they took it to a different level for its aspect. I don't know. Again, much like the Persona 5 spin-off, I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but I am a bit disappointed to see how it properly looks. Kind of like how the SNT and Fire Emblem crossover when it eventually was revealed for the Wii U. Starfield, at the end of the day, it's fine, but I'm really not a fan of how the color distribution of the game is. Again, games like products like Warhammer 40k or No Man's Sky know how to distribute color to make an visually engaging experience, despite the having the space exploration kind of thing, Rogue Trader, if you want to have a game example for Warhammer 40k. But this wants to be desaturated or going for a more realistic and quote-unquote cinematic look, and cannot really be a fan of. I know it has been a problem for a lot of Bethesda games, like Fallout is all about them browns, and with having with Skyrim, everything is almost white and blue all over the place. So color distribution is a problem that Bethesda is having with all of its first-party, developed stuff. Technically speaking, this will be a bit better than those, but we're still not there. But I'm guessing that's what mods will probably be eventually down the line. Again, for everything else, you can definitely tell the passion that they put into it, so cool, I guess. I just really probably not caring. As I mentioned in our speculation at when me, Joe, and Veggie were voting at the Game Awards 2022, this is not really one of the games that I was most excited to see this year. So, I'm sure it's gonna be fine and probably made a lot of people happy, particularly core Bethesda fans, but I'm not really into that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We will see in the upcoming days, how much of these titles, first and third party, will actually have, more gameplay showcase on their own. So who knows? Stay tuned. Yeah.
Bye.